and Sharif.
Thank you very much, Adara. Welcome, everybody, to the afternoon rundown, the show where you decide what we talk about every single day. Neil and Sean are locked and loaded. They're ready to take the names as decided by you guys. So make sure to join Adara and I. Get your learn on the How to Trade show and get into the chat and vote for your favorite tickers every day. Neil and Sean will cover, but only the top 5 make it on. So tell your friends to vote as well. All right, here's a look at the triple Qs, the only indice right now in Greensville. The ES awfully close, almost at flat. The Dow and the Russell both in negative territory, about 1/5% and 1/3 of a percent in negative. But we'll see what the day looks like when we finish all off. All right, Tesla, big move today for it. Big move yesterday, big move today. Full self-driving today is the catalyst. They're going to be rolling that out in Europe as well as China, guys. Funny enough, they haven't rolled that out yet. I didn't even know that.
If you don't know,
now you know.
You know. All right, so just
We'll
update quick time right here. We are shorting Nvidia. We are shorting the Qs. We're shorting everything right here. It might be a mistake, but we're going to give it one last chop and see what happens. There's Nvidia. Now short right here in the 50s. Put some bids out. I just realized I didn't have. Oh, we just actually got filled. We did have a bid out. Okay. Taking some more out here, shorting a little bit of Nvidia, but what was on the board there? Tesla for number 1. Okay. My second best name today. The first one's going to be Apple. We really nailed Apple. Tesla's right there as well. So let's have a quick little look to see what's going on here with Tesla. So Tesla's early trade was the sticky note du jour, the sticky note of the day, breaking through 226.50. We absolutely hammered that to the upside on that good news. I love trading Tesla when there is a catalyst. And today we came in, it was the number 1. I'm listening right now. We and Neil probably listening to the same thing here. There's something about Alibaba releasing. They must be having a conference or something.
No, there's a deal with MasterCard, it looks like.
Okay, what do you have up there?
Baba didn't move. There was no, actually, MasterCard didn't move either. So there's a deal between Baba and MasterCard. Neither one is moving. Just
go, Shody. It's your birthday right now. TQQ's making that move down. Let's get a bid out there right now. We're hosting the show. We're putting down bombs as well. Nice little move there for the TQQs as we go short right there at 50 and get a cover, a good old cover down there in the 20s. We're now bidding 22s. This is 30 cents in the money on Nvidia that we just put on as we run over to the show. So yeah, man, we have busybody up in this building right now. So let's go. Let's spin it around and around and around as you guys are coming back at the right time. Big time trades happening. We're just at the high of the day for ourselves. There goes Nvidia falling off of, well, we just shorted the same kind of thing right there. We've already been short here. We racked that up. We didn't get that very bottom tick. Wish we would have, but here we go. Back down into the downside as well as the TQs. But I know the story's Tesla. Maybe leave it alone now. We'll have a look up 5%. We absolutely nailed this. It was right on the sticky note. I apologize. I'm not even in the chat yet. Big movement here for Nvidia, though. Let's see if we can get the 200 period, which is 107.10.
207. Oh,
107, yeah.
Oh, never mind. You're talking about
Nvidia, yeah.
I mean, yeah, obviously you're talking about Nvidia there. For a split second, you said 107, and then I'm like, well, 207 doesn't make sense for Tesla either because Tesla's at $230. But just quickly, for the afternoon on Tesla, I just got a dark pool wick in there. It doesn't matter. For the afternoon on Tesla, Tesla has a trend which is now trying to form. You got higher highs and higher lows, and it might lose this trend at the top. If it loses the trend off the bottom, strongest stock in the market, in my estimation, that's at least big. If it loses this trend line under 228, bad for the market, but also bad for Tesla. So if it gets under 228, I'd be looking for a short. I am in Rivian right now, but I have to point this out because we're above the Brecher ledge. It broke this. It did break. The SPY broke, and if you were watching the afternoon show or the aftermarket show yesterday, Chris Brecher was mentioning the double bottom on the SPY and the 50-period moving average. That was broken. This rally was getting back above that. So if we fail this break back above the 50-period and the last 2 days lows on the SPY, that could be all she wrote. And I mean, Tesla going under 228 would obviously be a big part of that. So be careful. We have gotten back on the good side, I suppose, of the 50-period on the daily for the SPY, which is a big level. But we're not exactly running away from it here. It's still close.
All right, guys, next on the list here, Nvidia, and there was a couple of headlines today. There was this Bank of America security reiterating the buy on Nvidia and maintaining that $165 price target. There was also this, Nvidia and other microchip names looking to back Applied Digital Applied Digital with about $160 million in funding to help with the AI cloud build out, guys. Obviously moving for Nvidia, but Applied Digital got a nice little bounce off it.
Just right now?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know because I'm in a new version. We're trying to figure out if the new version has wick detection.
I think it's better.
Wick detection AI right there. Okay, so Nvidia. So we're in that right now. It's actually, we can talk about it. Why not? All right, so we just shorted it. Again, how much are we up today? Okay, so we're nowhere near what we were the last couple of days on this name. It's kind of been a relatively flat day for us here on Nvidia. We missed this whole move, but Apple's not even on there. We'll talk about, Apple's going to be my number one P&L name for the last little while, and we'll talk about that. So we missed this move up there. That was too bad. It was a big one, right? 105, 104, all the way to 110, 109.50. That was good. We played it back at the 50 period, then tried to defend VWAP. Made some money here when it finally defended VWAP. That was a small piece. Remember, we took it. And then we had a decent spot there. We're making some money, and then it broke VWAP, but we got out of it. Since we're trading underneath, you guys know what we do when that happens, right? Underneath VWAP, we short. So this was a great short. Really worked out. That's where we made all of our money. And then, oops, we did it again. So we're just doing it right now, getting some pieces out. Let's see if we can get something out down a little bit lower than where we are right now into 107.16, sorry, and then lower into that 106. So hopefully Nvidia can do it. Look, it's been a rough couple days for this name. I don't know what else to say. It's down 30% or something from its highs of 140 roughly in that area. So bearish behavior here for Nvidia. I feel pretty bearish, honestly, until we get above like this area, 111, 112. It's just like, let's get this garbage out of here and start to feel a little bit better about ourselves going northbound.
What kind? Okay, is it this kind of bearish?
No.
Or is it?
It's the first one.
The better one. I had to wait for it to go.
It's the better graphic.
Or this kind of bearish. So much better.
Yeah.
You have the handkerchief going.
I'm more this, like, the way I feel is more the second bear because, the first bear, because I'm not as like actively wanting to short this name, but I think you have to try it until it breaks above 111, 110. So, we're short Nvidia.
Yeah, look, I'm actually looking at AMD again, and we're in Intel. We'll get to that in a second. Intel's at VWAP, Intel VWAP. But AMD's trying to get under VWAP. It just did this topping tail rejection candle at 140, and I had it for a loss, for a win, for a loss, kind of 1 for 3 and flat on AMD. But now you've got a triple top. See the reversal here? 140.40, triple top, and now a consolidation underneath that. So if it breaks this consolidation down, looking to be short in advanced micro devices. Ooh, that's an interesting name next on the list. I can't remember the last time we talked about Estee Lauder. Earnings.
Yeah, not one you typically see on here, Neil. Certainly, there is a couple of headlines. One I was able to find, one I wasn't. Piper Sandler maintaining their overweight rating on Estee Lauder and boosting the price target to about $114, so good look for them. Also, Estee Lauder owns Tom Ford as of 2023. Thanks, Ram. And they got the appointment of a new creative director on all of their platforms. Hyder Ackerman, guys, being welcomed into the Tom Ford family.
I'm gonna say hater. I don't know, like the closer on the Astros. Even though it's spelled differently. There's Josh Hader is a closer. They got him in free agency, which tanked my my NL team with just losing all of my good talents. So thank you very much. I haven't in a baseball league, but anyways. Estee Lauder is kind of trying to do a V-shaped recovery here. So it's a very good-looking reversal. The daily chart, however, see when this is happening on a stock, it's bottoming. Clearly that's what's happening, and it hasn't been very good. But for a longer-term look at Estee Lauder, which sometimes that's what people are asking us about when it's a random stock like this, okay, you made the bottom on volume. You need to break out the top, get the 50 period. Like if this can get back above like 96 in the 50 period, then you've got a nice little rounded bottom. As far as trading it this afternoon, the volume isn't huge. It's a nice linear move to the upside, but the volume is very low. Even just as I've called it up, there hasn't been a lit book print for actually, I don't see one on the time and sales at all. So my entire time and sales doesn't have a single print that isn't the D print yet. Still hasn't done it. And that's since I pulled this chart up. So that's not a lot of activity on it. Maybe you like a VWAP, but I'm more interested in when you look at something like that, does it do the round bottom and break out like that 96 level on the daily chart for Estee Lauder? And we've seen it happen with the retail names. When they can finally catch some kind of a bid, they can look really, really nice for a while.
Hey, what's up to TX Jet Fan? Yeah, good call there. We got out there. We got out this on 16, so 0716. We talked about that. So we are now pretty light. We're actually a little bit more than half, a little bit less than half, sorry, of our Nvidia position still on. Actually, what am I talking about? It's exactly a third of our position still on there for Nvidia, and then the same thing here with the TQs. We're a little bit lighter in this one. We're not as confident in the futures because we're over VWAP and we're over everything. So we are. I'm just trying to get this out. Like if it comes back into VWAP, then we'll get out a piece and then hold for a little bit more. Look, Estee Lauder. I mean, some of these names have been pretty hot. We've looked at Elf Cosmetics and things like that, and Ulta Beauty. Both been taking positions with Berkshire and Warren Buffett. Not Elf, sorry, Ulta Beauty. But Estee Lauder continues to go downside. I thought this kind of would have been the other way when I saw it on the list. I don't know enough about it and haven't been following it, but this looks pretty beat up as well. What is this, a tech name? We'll wait to see if it can break back above $100. I mean, a lot of these names will get figured out. But right now, the trend, like, you got to wait for these things. Like, look at this. Wow, all right, where did this even come from? I mean, there's the 50 period right there. It doesn't actually start to, like I said, get figured out until we break back through. So I think you got to be as very, very patient as you can be. You're close to it, right? $97, $98 will be the first time we've tested the 50 period moving average since April. So I like the stock. If it gets, I don't like the stock, but if it gets above $97, $98, I think you can start to look at it. And then maybe a trend reversal. Be wicked if you can get 90 to 126. That's the 200 period moving average. We are right back into that bottom again for Nvidia. And I just tweeted this out. Look, if you guys aren't following, fine. I mean, a lot of people don't have X. I get it, right? But fortunately, that's sort of what we started here when we started the show. Here's me tweeting this trade out live on the air with Sharif a couple hours ago. There's the first Nvidia short at VWAP. Even explained it. We're going short here at the 200 period and the VWAP. So let's just update this right now, right? So here's the next one here. So this is an hour later right now live on the show again. It's the exact same trade at VWAP again. Obviously, the 200 is now sloped down. So we'll start to take some more out. So fool me once, fool me twice at Nvidia. But either way, we're not fooled this time. It's a nice little short to the downside. We're just starting to cover again. Go follow at Trader TV. Sean, and we'll post all these trades. We don't have a losing trade again here today. So hopefully that can be back-to-back days where we go pretty perfect there. So hopefully we'll be able to have Nvidia going a little bit lower as we watch out the TQQ trade. All right, it's Broadcom earnings time, I believe.
Ooh, earnings tonight.
That fool me once gaffe by George Bush lives in my head rent-free. I mean, I just can't get over that. Yeah, Broadcom reporting after the bell today, essentially flat right now as investors wait to see how they report. Keep in mind, this has been a widely touted Nvidia substitute. Those who couldn't stomach the valuation on Nvidia poured into this name. They did a 10-to-1 split not that long ago. It's been obviously tough for the chips since that time when Nvidia made those all-time highs and the rest of the chips. But guys, Broadcom after the bell.
Then Broadway. Now that's a banger from back in the day. Broadway Joe. I'm sure there's some Jets fans out there, and
yeah, there was a TX Jet fan we saw there.
At the end of the day, we love our community, but nobody's perfect.
Randy's a Jets.
There's no chance Randy's a Jets fan.
No. What?
No.
Cowboys?
Bills. What do you mean maybe?
Okay, so
hold on a second. Do you
really uninterested? I mean, maybe.
Yeah, do you have a team?
There's a maybe. I have an Earl Grey over here.
Maybe like a CF. Oh, you're drinking the Earl Grey tea?
Yeah.
Nice. I want peppermint. You want peppermint too? All right, cheers. We're drinking tea this afternoon. I don't know why. That's probably the first time that nobody's having a coffee in the afternoon. But what was that?
Oh, Pinky's up. Well, when I was in London, yeah, we had some nice afternoon tea. That was pretty nice.
This is a big mug for the Pinky Up. It's way too big. I'm not gonna. It doesn't work. It's like a coffee mug in there. We try to keep it real.
We're gonna get to Tesla. Oh no, we have ASTS. Oh, we have Broadcom. Any thoughts on Broadcom?
The report tonight.
You know anything about Broadcom? You liking the chip space at all? Or okay, first of all, here we go, man. Just real quickly, there it goes. The market's trying to come back down in a little bit. Nvidia is coming into that 107.50. This is a 50-cent winner right now, so it is a little bit coming in right now. We should be bidding down here. I don't know. 106. There we go. No, we got filled in the TQQs. We don't even have an Nvidia bid down here. All right, let's put a bid right there if we can get it. There we go. We get it right there at the 50 period. Moving average, Randy. I mean, sometimes trading is this easy. It happens once, it happens twice. So here we go. Nice little move down there. And then there's the TQQ with the fall. And again, I thought we got filled there, but we didn't. So we're bidding 11s right now for the triple Qs. Yeah, I don't know. We can go over Broadcom earnings tonight. What's the expected move?
I was just about to pull it up.
I saw you on there, so that's why.
No, I'm loading it up literally right now. I just got to, there we go. Broadcom's expecting only 6%. Yeah, it was like 12.3 the last time. What's going on here with Broadcom? I'm going to bring you guys to the weekly chart because I don't necessarily like what I see on the weekly chart of Broadcom. It's going to be tough to see, but see this like downward sloping lower highs? Like that was a big rally that everybody basically had off that August 5th bottom, the panic bottom, 50 period on the weekly. But now you're trending down back into it. And see this 150 level? Like if we lose that, then you've got 130 in here. I mean, it says only 6%. So I suppose they're not pricing in a big breakdown on Broadcom. But the way that everyone's been reacting to some of this, to anything AI or chip related in terms of earnings, and it's not just the ones that go down on decent numbers. You got to throw in something like a Marvell, which was gapped up after they reported and then got tanked. You got to throw in AMD or Nvidia blowing out the numbers and then still heading back into the downside. So I'm a little bit concerned when I look at that Broadcom chart if it loses $150. That's a level I'll be watching tomorrow morning to be sure. That's the key one for me. Yeah, I mean, I don't think we'll trade it. It's going into earnings and it's Broadcom, so I don't see that as an afternoon trade at all. A lot of times you don't want to have, take trades on something that's going to report right after the bell. Could be some bamboozlement there. So I'm going to stay away from that one in the afternoon.
Thanks, Sharif, for that. We never used to say bamboozle one bit, and now it's like one of Neil's go-tos.
You know what it is? We talk all day, right? And it's really easy to fall into habits where I'm not consciously saying weasel in or bamboozlement.
Weasel in, I never hear you say, man. I'm hearing bamboozle a lot. So Sharif.
Well, I'm trying to say weasel more, so I say bamboozle less.
Bamboozle's fine. I'm just saying I've noticed it with that. So thanks to Sharif for the bamboozlement of that word. Okay, so we'll go to the downside here with Broadcom. I mean, it's trying to take it out here, 153. I don't know. I don't think it'll be a trade for the rest of the afternoon. I don't like to trade things, day of, day after, really, until we get like some kind of a directional pull. And right now on Broadcom, it just doesn't really look like it wants to do that. Again, our charts do not play split prices very nicely. So there it is, a downside move. It's been getting hit with all the other names, but it seems relatively strong. I like the fact that they split. First report since. Let's see what winds up happening. I'd stay away for now. Did we get the implied move?
6.4.
6.4. So that's,
double that last time, though.
I was going to say, I'd probably take that. I think that will probably be in and around that range, if not a little bit more with chip volatility.
I kind of feel more. I'm thinking higher. I'm thinking higher on that one.
There's a good possibility of that. Either way, it's Sharif at the desk.
I like how Neil's copying the guy. You guys can both thank Luca for that bamboozle thing because I took that off him. He got that in my head. All right, guys, AST SpaceMobile. It's been a very strong directional stock as of late. You've seen me trade it multiple times on the How to Trade Midday show. Today, though, nothing we didn't expect an offering. So they did file a prospectus to issue, or offer about $400 million of Class A shares from time to time. In case you're wondering what the time-to-time caveat is, it's typically when the price is favorable for them to issue those shares.
So ASTS, although today, when it's down 15%, we should call it ASTS. Okay, so ASTS is down 15 points. The good news, there's always a silver lining. Well, I shouldn't say that because there's no silver lining with Mullen. There's always a silver lining. There is one here. Look at the volume bottom on ASTS. Now, there's a reason why you don't see many indicators on the chart because I don't want to clog things up, but volume is an important one. And when you see something like this, where you're just all down on a 15-minute on ASTS, it's breaking through the last lines of support, then you get this massive volume candle at the open, and then another continuation candle off that bottom, double tap the bottom, confirming that bottom, and then breaking it back out. That's the kind of reversal trade you're looking for. It's on volume, a definitive buy, but don't like what we see in the afternoon because yesterday's low is today's resistance at 29 bucks. So underneath 29, it doesn't look good under 29. Needs to break back out here before there's anything fun here in ASTS. What was that on Toyota?
Those kind of stocks always bamboozle me, so I'm going to stay away from that. I didn't even look at ASTS, so thanks, Neil, for looking at that one. All right, guys, over again to, hopefully real money on Nvidia here. Thank you to everybody for watching again today. Like I said today, we'll have we won't count Amazon, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll go 5 for 5 again today. We did that yesterday, which was crazy. And we're actually a little bit higher than we were yesterday right now, working our way back. And thanks for asking that. Danielle asks, have I recovered completely from Tuesday? No, but getting very, very close to doing that. And today, again, is another really good day. So we're really proud of the fact that we're battling that back. So that's going to be a good one. 40 cents now in the money on Nvidia. It just bounced again off 107. So we're still here. Let's see what winds up happening. TQs as well goes all the way to the downside. We're still here. We're not going to give anything back here in the afternoon. We're going to look for good opportunities, and when they hit, they're going to hopefully come and give us an easier trade. So what I mean by that is, look what the futures are doing right now. It's going to be impossible to say with confidence which way you think this is going. So you have to wait. Either we pull back into VWAP and we test that long. We'll have a look to see what other names are doing, like in Apple, which was, by the way, Apple. And I just want to say this trade alone is helping get back. I mean, this was an absolute monster. This was more shares, probably XXX amount that we would have put on here normally. We put this one. It was a nice trade. Great move to the upside for Apple. We really took it out. That's a 222 long break, and it just kept on going. Our best out there, 224 within 5 minutes. We got $2 there. It kept on going, man. We did not reload it, but then right up into there, boom, goes the dynamite. It's like 20x the next best stock. So we really, really like Apple right now there today, and it's done really well for us. Sorry, 20, not 20x the next best stock. Tesla's here. It's 3x Tesla. And that was a really good one there. Nice upside move on Tesla as well. But look, you can't take blood from a stone. Right now, I'm thinking short. You can see I'm short the futures, short Nvidia right now. Both are doing well, and we're still short Intel. And Intel's been a great stock as well. Look at this name, Tesla. If we can break right there, then you do get that 230 break underneath the 50-period moving average. But then is it worth it for 50 cents? Because that's where you get into VWAP, and then you get 229. I'd almost rather wait for a breakdown or some kind of a play near 227.50. Okay, Nvidia, you can come to the party if you're well-dressed as well. It just goes all the way down again to the 200 period of 107. We're just laughing at 50 cents right now. Maybe we should start taking it a little more seriously and get a piece out, especially if we're going to barcode like this. Yeah,
and if we are going to barcode, you got to respect the levels. And I am in Rivian. It did make a big move up. Eventually, we were kind of dogging Rivian for when everything was strong this morning, like Tesla was going crazy. We're dogging Rivian because it was weak. Well, it broke out in a big way. That said, it broke trend. And when it did, there's a consolidation. I wasn't there when it broke this trend line. But once it did, it consolidated underneath. 1387 was the top. I was able to short at 83 a couple of times in there. It's got VWAP in 1365, which is the opening range top, as support. If it breaks down, I think it's got all kinds of room to the downside. And if it holds on here, then I'm going to get out on a trail at 75. So we're in that. VWAP on, we've already talked about VWAP on Intel. And then just to finish just to talk about ASTS here, or ASTS, depending on how you guys want to call it. A lot of times I would look for something like, hey, you can hold VWAP in here at 28, but because that 29 was such a big level, it needs to get above there. If it can't get above 29, then it's not its time to shine just yet. AMD doesn't seem to want to get back into VWAP. It's consolidating underneath. Now what I'm sitting at, it went up to 80s, and I was sitting at like 85. I'm going to sit in the 70s if I can. But I have to acknowledge a stock here. I don't really know why ARM is relatively strong today, but this has been one of the stronger chip names after breaking back out. It's just got resistance here at 124.24. If the market does decide to get going, it looks pretty good for a liquidity grab under 120 and then trying to break out. If ARM decides it wants to go, I look at this floor here, this resistance at 125, and you've got a pretty big gap into the upside. If it doesn't do it today, got to look at this level tomorrow on ARM. I don't know any chip name that looks the way that ARM does right now. I think it's the strongest of the bunch for, I'm not even sure what the reason is. I haven't seen a story on it, but up a couple of points here, ARM. It might not break 125 today, but its relative strength does bear watching. If it loses 122, I'm short under there. If it loses it, I don't know if it's going to lose it, but strong day for ARM, at least for now.
All right, let's just keep barbecuing up the profits. All right, so we'll take out a TQQ here at the 50-period moving average. It's a 30-cent winner. Nvidia right now, I mean, we might as well, there's 70 cents in the money right now. Let's see if we can have these hands. I mean, we just got another piece out at 107. We talked about bidding that. Now, if it goes to the downside, fine. We had this yesterday, man. We had this exact play yesterday, and it turned out to be probably the best trade. Right into here. Look at this. We had this short yesterday into the afternoon. So this is 2 o'clock. It's 2 o'clock now. We're just getting started, baby. So let's see what winds up happening now to the downside here for Nvidia. Let's make this day special. It already is, man. This is already quite the day for me. And again, it's going to sound crazy because we had such a great day yesterday as well. But hey, sometimes when the market's going, the market's going. Intel almost like it's halted here. Nothing's really happening. We only have, this one we have less than 5% of our trade left. Unfortunately, we are just quiet wait to see what happens down here at 1940. But at the end of the day, this is another sticky note trade. And if you want to follow me, I show this all the time. Just trying to not kill some time here, but you know, we're not really in. Neil has his positions. We have my positions here. It's right here. We already put these trades out. There's Intel 1975. I mean, that trade right here seems to be working out quite nicely, right? That only would have gone 15 cents against you. Didn't even break 90s. So we're back into that. That was a good one. The Tesla 226.50 long was honestly, I made a lot of traders a lot of money. I'll leave it at that. Amazon long all day today. I mean, that's another one there. And then Palantir top 30.75. Let's have another look at that Palantir short. Long short at 30.75. So, you know, here it is here. Palantir short $30.75, right? We actually, this one's on me. There it is right there. There's the high of the day, $30.73. This one's on me. We had looked at this when it was up here and decided not to take it. We were probably just in other things and looking long and not thinking that the short was going to come through. But man, oh man, did that one print. So today, the sticky note is for all of you and for me, should be for everybody. Hopefully you guys were following it today. It's big time trades happening over there, and it's led us to where we are right now. Just having confidence in your levels, sticking with your trades, right? Putting them out, putting on shares, hitting those trades. Today it's worked out, doesn't all the time, but today and yesterday, big time trading right there. And again, congratulations to the guys behind us that absolutely nailed Tesla and Nvidia the last couple of days.
Yeah, definitely some great opportunities in this market right now. Great looks there. I got to get over to Unity very quickly. Unity's making a move. I'm taking a short in Unity. I'm on the offer right now. It's essentially just a mean reversion trade. I'll go to the 15-minute in a second, but this is the trend. It just went all the way to 17, then pulled back. Something else on United Steel here. Okay, so yeah, nothing. I just thought there was something else on U.S. Steel. Basically, they're just
talking about something.
They're basically saying there's national security issues again could lead to Nippon Steel's deal maybe not happening. But we already know this, and it's not moving on U.S. Steel. But the last time there was news during the day on U.S. Steel, you saw it tank like $5. So I'm going to flip over to it. But yeah, not a big deal there. Back over to Unity. So go to the 15-minute just to quickly explain. This is $17 the last couple of days on Unity. This was a resistance spot 2 days ago. It failed underneath. It just wicked right to 17. On a 15-minute, it has been just streaming to the upside. So if it fails 17 now, I'm looking short 16.5 right here was pre-market highs. They're like 16.55. So that's one reasonable target. That's out in front of VWAP. But looking to get into short. I just got some here at 88 or 87 actually. Would like to have gotten some in the 90s if it can come up here. But if it breaks 17, I am out of Unity. Another big, strong day for Unity on, I mean, I didn't see any news. It's got an 11% short float, so maybe that's the reason why this one is up. But a little trend reversal here for me as it broke the trend line.
How many fills today, says Rivian Trader. Okay, let's have a quick look here. About 120. It's not so many. I mean, it's a lot, but it's not so many. We did, even just on this Tesla, this is just really 2 trades, right? The first trade is down here long at 225. So if you're, again, we all trade with different amounts of share sizes. And I just when it starts to go up, I just start to piece them out. Never wind up holding enough. That's sort of my crutch. But right there, you can see there's the 226.50. So it's 1 trade, 2 trades. So it's really kind of like 1 trade long idea. That's 229. Just so you guys get a good perspective there. That's $4 from that entry, 250 from there, and then we got out at 230. We wrote down 232 would probably be the high there today. It goes up as high as 234 and then turns around. And right now, I mean, it did do that drop off here. We had looked at it and was like, I don't know. And then the other thing was too, just on Apple alone, we only have 1 trade on Apple today, but 24 fills. So that's, again, we have the ability here to trade different share sizes. So that's what we're going to do. And we put on some decent size. And so when it started popping up, I was like, okay. I took it all out, right? And then there's our top fill up there, top cheese at 225. So good opportunity there. I'm not going to be in tomorrow. Obi will be at this chair. So we got to make the money today. And man, oh man, have we done that. So hopefully you guys will be able to see Obi put on some trades tomorrow. I know Neil will be here. So there's lots of action happening. And once again, man, it should be another great day. I mean,
end off the week on
every single day is a great day,
especially after Broadcom reports, right? Because that'll be like the last. I mean, this earnings season, it's the last one of the big tech names of the big NASDAQ constituents, right? So you're not going to get anybody after them. It was just a rehash of a news story here in BAC that it doesn't seem to be moving a lot to. So there was like this story that Bank of America shared non-public info with investors in India, according to a whistleblower. They're actually buying this up. Like this dropped in the middle of the day and it broke VWAP and it just came out again and it dipped and then started ripping again. So I guess it's not that big of a deal. Maybe, I'm not going to try to explain why, because sharing non-public information and whistleblower stuff isn't usually a positive catalyst, but BAC, for whatever reason, it ain't going down off that news. And if it's not going down, then it's usually going to the upside. I'm not going to touch that with a 10-foot pole. It was just pointed out to me that C3AI is back at the high of the day, which I'm not going to lie, surprised me a little bit. C3AI is breaking out. It's now only down 10%. So I had the trade that I'm in on Unity is essentially almost similar to what we did with C3AI into VWAP, where it broke a steep trend to the upside, pulled back into VWAP. But wow, C3AI is now trying to squeeze. It had a huge gap on earnings aftermarket last night, as you can see, and it's now starting to take out this morning high of 2070. Not a lot of acceleration yet, but we should probably keep our eye on this one if it can start going a little bit more rapidly. Great look here for C3AI. I'm going to check back in on Intel because it's still not doing anything, and Rivian is holding on to VWAP. The longer this holds VWAP, I'm just going to start tightening this up even more. If the futures break out this next high, I'm not going to forget. We are back above the 50 period on the ES. If we hold this throughout the afternoon, you would think there could be a bit of a relief rally. And anything that's strong above VWAP that's showing strength today, you might want to take out it might start to take out those tops. A little bit of caution with what we're sitting in. NWHS asking about PDD, Pinduoduo. It's not as bad as it was this morning. There's that for PDD. Pinduoduo, there wasn't a bid at the open. I don't know why. It just sort of happens to Chinese ADR sometimes. But now it's absolutely, what's that word? It's a linear move to the upside on PDD. It's still red on the day, and it's still way under resistance from yesterday. So it's not as bad as it was before. It would probably need to take out 93 or 93.5 and be a little bit more interesting to me. If you're looking at Chinese ADR today, the one was NEO. And even myself, I was out of NEO way too early. Look at it. It's now at 480. It seems to want $5. NEO's just going and going and going like the Energizer Bunny here today. And I did say if it got to $5, I'd be looking short. I still believe that to be true. It's still got 20 cents to go, with, for NEO's sake, is still a lot. It's only a $4.80 stock, but you can see it just trending. That's the one you want to be trading, I think, over Pinduoduo, but it's just my 2 cents.
Okay, yeah, I think you want to trade the names that are active. We always talk about that. And Neo, I mean, some of these Chinese ADRs kind of go to sleep a little bit here in the afternoon, but we'll just continue to do the most active name, maybe, potentially, into the close here. Why not Nvidia? So here it comes in, man. I mean, well, let's just talk about it. We're going to get out another piece in the 40s. So here comes Nvidia trying to spit down again. And man, oh man, do we have it one more time here on this name. So coming back in, here comes Nvidia. So we have the short again. It's now 75 cents in the money. I mean, it keeps on wicking and coming back. But if we zoom back out a little bit, sometimes you zoom out, have a better look. That's 106.50. That bottom right there is 106.30. I'm actually at 106.40. Like, I'm going to try to play and see if we can get back into this bottom. And if we break back down below that, then great. And then we could take 106 and we could let it fall, man, back into the downside. A little bit of a risky proposition, obviously, as you sit here and wait for this to happen. So that's why I'm here to tell you we only have 20% left of this trade. So, let's wait to see where it goes. But it's a 20% spot right here on Nvidia, looking to see about a potential downside move. So that's what we're doing. We're waiting for that. We also have the TQQs. Let's go over to Adara.
This part of the show is brought to you by Mumu. Right now, everyone's focused on this week's non-farm payrolls and unemployment data. These reports will impact whether the U.S. might enter a recession and the Fed's potential rate cuts in September. If the numbers exceed expectations, the U.S. stocks could jump. If not, they could tumble. The data's coming out at 8:30 a.m. on this Friday, right before the market opens. If you want to be one of the first to trade on the news, Mumu's got your back with pre-market and after-hours trading. By getting in early, you can snag a better price, whether you're buying or selling. Mumu's an all-in-one investing platform that's partnered with the NASDAQ and even listed on the exchange. They got an extended 16-hour U.S. trading window so you could jump on any opportunity before the traders even wake up. That means better filling prices and more time to trade the market. Plus, Mumu's fees charge zero commission on trades and zero contract fees for stock options. Scan the QR code or use the link in the description. You'll also get access to an 8.1% APY on uninvested cash with Cash Sweep, 15 free stocks, and up to $300 in transfer bonuses. Don't miss out.
Thank you very much there, Darren. Shout out to Mumu. Check out scan that QR code below. Thank you to our partners there. And, thank you to our unbelievably awesome community. That's why we're trying to keep it real with you. And Nick Dubs, thanks for the super chat. You want thoughts on DocuSign? Going into earnings, you can see here, it's about a 4% short float. They are one of the names that are reporting after the bell tonight. I'll double check in a second what the expected move is. You're going into it and you're up 20% on a swing. I mean, I'm not here to tell you, look, I'm assuming if you're making a trade, part of your plan was to hold it into earnings in the first place, or you wouldn't be in it. Obviously, DocuSign has been on a tear like everything else in the market. You can see the brick wall that's there on a weekly chart of $60. I think that's going to be the trouble spot for Docu. Oh, Tesla's at VWAP. But the other thing to consider, where is DocuSign? There it is. Last time it only moved 5%. Now you're expecting a 10% move on DocuSign, which is double last time. I mean, it all works in both ways. But you got to look at it. Come on, where's that daily chart again? I should have left the trade ideas up. There we go. So right from here, if you bust 10% to the upside, you're taking out massive resistance on the daily chart there. For the greater part of the year, like you'd be punching through this before you get to that 10% number. That obviously cuts both ways, but the support's down at like $49, and you're a heck of a lot closer to the top there. Like if it goes 10% down, you're not even at the support levels on DocuSign, where I'm assuming where you bought it. So it looks pretty good going into earnings. I have no idea how those are going to fly. But it seems like it's more likely to break the top than it is the bottom based on the expectations here in DocuSign. So looks pretty good there. But as I was just showing before I pulled that chart up, Tesla's bouncing off VWAP. And if the market's trying to go back up, well, Tesla's been the strongest name out there that I've checked. There's always something else, but I want to say Tesla's the strongest name. I know NIO's got a bigger percentage move, but you start thinking of how many dollars have gone into NIO and how many dollars have gone into Tesla today, And without doing the math, there's more in Tesla by a large amount. So holding on to VWAP and bouncing higher, going to look for entries in Tesla. If we're going to go barcoding, then you got to have something in and out of a range. Intel's giving you VWAP, but it's not really doing anything. If Tesla could bounce off VWAP, that's $1.50 to resistance at 231. Let's see it bounce back in. Get 229.5 in here. You got a local bottom at 229.30 or 29. That's like 30 cents worth of risk if you get VWAP on TSLA, one of the strong ones. And I do have to worry about Rivian picking up again if Tesla's going to do this.
Good question there by Coffee Trader. If I was not on this show, no, I'm not muted. Okay, it's all good, Fabian. I got you, man. The Chilean nightmare over there. If you weren't on this show, would you be trading afternoons? Yes, because I am addicted. Even when, don't tell my boss this, do I have one? That even when I was doing the floor management of opening up a whole bunch of real trading floors and helping onboard them and whatnot, and being the director of trading floor development, I was sitting there trading. So I was like on the side trading, obviously, and basically paying for my own salary just by trading. So I think it worked out for everybody as you go. But yeah, no, I don't. No matter what I'm doing this unless I'm on vacation. So yeah, and I just think that it's not about. I mean, the word addicted is probably wrong. It's not that. It's just I really enjoy doing this. So trying to do it. Yeah, I mean, the passion, I think, is quite evident there. So thank you for that one, Fabian. I think that's true. And it's like, this is the show. So what we're doing here is one thing. Often Ramin or Fabian will show me here in the afternoon, and I'm just kind of relaxing, listening to some music, looking at some charts. I talk to my wife like 3 or 4 times a day at least, probably. That's just on the phone, let alone on messages and stuff like that. So yeah, my mind is always on so many other things, which is kind of a bad thing sometimes. But yeah, just lots going down and lots going on. So, you got to really like what you're doing. And I mean, that's where the show stemmed from. I mean, the show was always going to be something that we were going to do. We brought Neil on board as well to get this conversation and stuff going, give different looks. And then we brought on now Dara Sharif. And there's been many iterations of this show that have come through. So yeah, it's really, yeah. And I think that's another good word, committed. I mean, it's just, I want to be here every single day and commit to doing all of this. So a big shout out to everybody out there that has those same vibes and same feels. And I mean, that's why we're posting these up, like just trying to show you that this is the real stuff. We're going to have Andrew Rader on right now. Like I basically have only had one job my whole life, and that was a prop trader. And then moving off of that into the same company, assessing risk, doing things like that, building these offices, training traders, doing all that. So always it's been focused around here. So really enjoy what we're doing here every single day, and I hope that comes through. And I mean, we don't share P&Ls, but if we did, it would also prove to why we like being here. So yeah, that's it, man. So good. The day continues to be so good.
So good. There's a song called that. I have no idea who sings it, but it's in my head now. But
I mean, maybe you and Raider Trader can drop some beats.
Oh no!
You can start going.
It's a young man's game out there. I'm not going to try to take on
money,
Raider.
they say.
I mean, he's dropping beats from the streets of Ohio. I don't know, down in Ohio, you know how they do. I don't know if I could handle that.
The streets of Ohio. Oh, there he is. There. Oh, he's.
Oh, waiting. Is that a preview?
He's waiting.
We're gonna actually wait 90 seconds.
All right, you know what?
Okay.
Man, the crowd is going nuts. We got to bring him in. Raider. Let's
just bring him in, man.
Trader Talk. It's Mr. Raider, his trader, and we are ready to go. What's up, Andrew?
Yo. You guys were talking about passion. I just heard you talking about, I don't think there's 2 more handsome, passionate traders on Wall Street than Sean and Neil. So I agree with that statement right there.
The amazing part is we're not even
the handsome part. Like I was going to believe you.
I know.
And all of a sudden you're starting talking about this handsome.
We're also not on Wall Street, but that's cool too.
Honestly, this guy's killing me over here.
Wall Street.
Yeah, Wall Street. Yeah, we're chilling out. No, we did.
Maple Syrup Street. My bad.
That's right, Maple Syrup Street. Yeah. No, it's Bay Street here, but it's all good. When are you coming to Toronto? We've been inviting you.
So my schedule's wide open, man. If you give me a ballpark answer, I could be on a flight within 2 weeks.
If we give you a ballpark answer,
fine.
Like
challenge
you
accepted.
Like sports, you like baseball. You might, you might as well give me a ballpark, and I show up to the game.
See what we're saying?
Well,
Neil?
I'll get you some maple syrup if you want too. Like if you keep talking about maple syrup, I'm not gonna lie, we got a little bit of that in our household. My in-laws make maple syrup, bro, and it's like I'm sure you know this, but once you have it, you don't want anything else to sweeten anything. It's like one of the best things out of Canada, but it's an open invitation. And it's a short flight. You're in Ohio, dude. It
is actually a short flight, and I do have a passport, so it would be smooth.
That's key. That's key.
That would help.
Do you need a passport to go? Wait a minute.
I don't know. I'm not sure.
No, I think to go ground, I think you just need it.
You can drive through it. Yeah, you don't need a passport to drive.
Driver's license.
Oh,
yeah.
well, I haven't traveled in a while, and you can tell. So.
Yeah.
Can we though?
I would love to have Raider Trader on the floor with us, so we'll get that going. All right, hey, look, what a disaster the last couple of days have been, right? I mean, you were on the show a while ago talking about seasonality, and then now it's hit, right? So here we go, the TQQs last couple of days starting to go to the downside. We just saw the S&P though before Monday was about 1% or so away from all-time highs, and now you're getting the NASDAQ with a little bit of a pullback here, Andrew. What do you think here? Has this satisfied some of what you were talking about now? Are we getting a little bit lower here? Anything on the put-to-call ratio or anything tipping your hand a little bit on next move?
Yeah, absolutely. Sean, I don't come here empty-handed. So I do have a few things to talk about. Number one is, of course, the seasonals. So everyone and their mom has been talking about seasonals lately, and I don't like the crowded trade. There's a lot of people shorting this market right now, and that is evident by this chart right here. You can see into the 920, which is quad witching. We talk about the most important expiration dates and how options influence the equity markets. That's one relationship everyone should know. But there's a ton of put walls being built, and these have continued to be built over the last few weeks. And it seems not everyone is buying calls like everyone is thinking. Everyone's like, oh, the bulls are getting, too greedy. No one's getting greedy. In fact, almost everyone is hedged right now. And so that makes the downside, to me, risk to reward standpoint, very, very limited. And so coming into this quad witching, while I'm not going to go in and buy calls expecting perhaps an all-time high, I'm going to be targeting certain sectors and industries for that bounce. Specifically, small caps, I believe, will get a nice bounce, but also some other stocks, which I'll talk about in a bit. But you can see right here, this is the open interest charts. You're seeing massive call walls being built up. And so while you'd like to think, hey, maybe the market can crash, I don't think so. I don't think that's the best risk reward trade, at least into quad witching. And one more thing that's very, very clear is that we've talked about this a few times on the show before, but 30 days before quad witching expiration, you start the shakeout phase. This often sees a fake out. We actually saw that with the drive higher, and then now the drop coming into that. This Friday, the 6th, starts the max pain phase, which is 2 weeks before quad witching. What you can expect during this time period, and I've shown charts on this in the past, is you can expect some sort of pivot, some sort of market dynamic change. Does that mean straight up? No. But what that means is there's going to be a big flow of money coming in, and I believe it's going to be on certain tickers like small caps, defensives, and mid cap names for the bounce.
Of the seasonality, like you're talking about with the witching coming up there. I mean, the Fed rate cycle is supposed to be starting right now in September, right? The Fed rate cut. So we're going to wait to see, thinking about 75 basis points throughout the end of the year, thinking about possibly 1 full point on that. Any thoughts about that? Are you hearing anything? Are you preparing for the Fed cut at all, or you're just right now focused on witching?
So that's one topic that we can discuss. As far as the rate sensitive trade, things like that, we talk about a lot of names, things like Solars, FSLR, and see how they're doing. They're not doing horrible. They've been consolidating, especially FSLR right here, or even one of my favorites to trade, which is ENPH. These names have been kind of consolidating, waiting for some sort of news. And what I'd like to think that, hey, play any gap ups on this, because again, any gap up in momentum to the upside is going to likely see some follow through ahead of these rate cuts. But one of the things that I actually want to talk about is, I think actually coming up, the SPY is set to add or drop new tickers as well. So I do actually have a few tickers here, specifically being PLTR, LEN, APO, Dell, and WDay. Those tickers, I'm actually looking into 913 calls. Just, purely gamble. Adding tickers to SPY, it's pretty strict. But those are the ones I kind of researched, and I found, it's worth a gamble. So just playing any gap up in those 913 calls.
What was that? Look at your screen. What was that?
I did fire those.
I knew it.
We need to write these down. So
what was that?
PLTR. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a second.
Are you? What was that stock?
Now you noticed.
What was that stock that starts with a P?
So now we're on the same wavelength.
Did you say PayPal? What did you say? What was the stock?
Do you know something? You need to text me what you know, because that's.
So I know something. My friend, I've been talking about Palantir since 2020. Right there, Palantir is a big part. We really like that stock, and I agree with you. It is the next one. Let's see if it is the chosen one. We've seen action on Uber, on their inclusion as well.
Trade.
We saw that huge move to the upside. And wasn't it was CrowdStrike, I think, into the NASDAQ 100, created some action recently as well, and Tesla and all that. So we do believe here. Palantir. You know what's an exciting name that I was thinking about, actually? Does Intel ever get, Neil and I were talking about this on the show the other day, does Intel ever get dropped from the Dow based on that performance? That would be a crazy, that would be a crazy rebalance.
They were set to build a factory in Ohio, like in Columbus, and I don't know if they're still doing that anymore.
Aren't you the mayor of Columbus?
I mean,
okay. The CEO of Columbus, guys. I'm the CEO of Ohio, all right?
The CEO of Ohio. Is that something you want to put on your resume?
Of Ohio.
I thought that was LeBron James.
Oh, man.
Oh, no. But look, they're coming out. I think Intel's coming out of the Dow. It's just like it's a matter of time there. But, okay, so Palantir, obviously they have strict requirements for Palantir there. Dell's chart doesn't look very good. I know you mentioned Dell as one of those names. And so what's your... Because when you talk about inclusion, they could easily end up, any name can go in or out of an index every single quarter, right? So is a quarter by quarter thing that you're looking at here for any of these types of names? Because the Palantir doesn't go in this quarter. It's going in at some point before the end of next year. And we've been saying this for a while. But what are your thoughts individually on each of those? Like, how are you specifically playing them? I'm curious about Dell because their chart doesn't look very enticing. So I think it could surprise people.
Yeah, so a lot of what I've looked for is, number one, it's got to be liquidity, it's performance, of course, earnings, all of that. But when you look at trade, I typically don't even look for trades like this. In fact, I've probably only traded tickers to be added to the S&P probably 3 times in my life. But when we get into these market conditions where the market's expectations are actually pretty like we're not expecting huge moves for the next 2 weeks or so, at least into quad witching. But after is when we're going to see that big move. So during times like this, these are these opportunities that we actually have to look at. It's going to be pretty dry. I mean, especially the indices, QQQ, SPY, Dow, and IWM. These guys are extremely tough to trade right now just because the indecision within them. And I think that's going to continue, and sticking to individual names is the most profitable. So more so, you just want to look at the earnings, of course. There are strict requirements, like I said, and it purely is a gamble. I don't know, but those were the tickers I narrowed it down to, and it's worth a shot. I mean, if you have a thesis, you might as well follow it. So I did research about 4 or 5 hours of it. So, if it comes out to negative and, I might have to move to Canada to find a room in Trader TV studio to sleep in. But no. Okay.
Oh, stop.
It's the best rent around. It's the best rent around. It's
there is a very comfortable couch, like right over there, and I can attest to it because I haven't slept on it. But when the leg got hurt, I'd spend some afternoons spending some time on it. It's a great couch. We got a coffee machine in here. We got the catered food, all that kind of good stuff. So you're more than welcome.
Okay, just real quickly here. Here we go. It is time.
Get down.
We're reloaded right here on Nvidia. Come over to the screen real quick. We just ripped up the view up again once, twice. Can it be thrice? Let's see what happens with Nvidia. Give me that. We're here in the 20s right now for a nice little push back down in for Nvidia. Let's put a bid right there. Let's take some 28s. All right, that's what we're doing right there, Andrew. That's how we do it on the show. Let's put 20, 30 cents in our pocket. Let's see if Nvidia gets a little bit lower as we'll hold on to 2/3 of this.
No way you're trading Nvidia. Okay, so semiconductors, Sean, if you don't mind, I will talk about semiconductors for a second. I'm actually taking a few earnings trades. Now, I never talk about earnings trades on here. You guys know they're absolute gambles. Don't put your life savings into them, but maybe just your weekly allowance. But what I'm saying is for AVGO, there's 2 earnings trades I'm taking today. If you guys want to follow along. AVGO puts, I believe those are the better downside trade than Nvidia. I think Nvidia had too many call sellers, which makes any push up really low risk to reward. But when it comes to this, because call sellers are obligated to sell shares as they get tagged, so you don't really get that big of a rally. But as far as this right here, AVGO, I'm actually shorting that into earnings. But also there's one ticker that I'm looking at that I'm straddling, $35 puts. IoT. I believe IoT is about to get, let's just say, ran over by a train. Okay. Now that's just my opinion. Look, I'm straddling it, but I think I saw a bunch of flow orders on this. Now I look for specific ones that meet certain criteria, multi-leg specifically, and this was one that was being hit a lot. So I believe there's going to be a big shocker on IoT. So there you go, guys. There's your, split the weekly allowance. As long as there's food on the table for the kids, then you can go and trade them. All right.
I agree with that. Are they reporting tonight, Sam, Sarah? Is that?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, you know what the best thing about it is? So let's tune in. Everybody tune in for the aftermarket show tonight with Sean because yes, I'm sorry, we'll get a chance to see it. It's interesting that you put the allowance money in there, but then you're also making sure the kids have food on the table. It's interesting. And
as long as the kids are eating, look, you can starve, you can sell Sean's got, Neil's got plenty of assets he can liquidate, such as his unreleased albums, the royalties that go with that, and things like that. But he won't talk about that. But those are at least in the hundreds of thousands for Neil. He's got that. He could easily gamble that, but
hundreds of thousands of pennies is what you're talking. No, absolutely.
That seems like a lot.
No, absolutely.
100,000 rupees.
That's probably more accurate.
I do live in Brampton.
How much is a rupee?
I have no. Is it 1/13th?
Ask
the CEO of Ohio over there how much.
Down in Ohio, they got all kinds of. By the way, the market is coming back in here. Chip names are now trying to break some of these lows in here, so it's going to be a nice move into the downside. I got AMD to the downside right now, but you just said a little something about Broadcom that's. Mm-hmm. Like, you think that that's going to be scarier than Nvidia. And I feel as if, Broadcom's chart, it doesn't, I really don't like Broadcom's chart. And I was saying this to Sharif, the way that it rallied and lost and has been doing this very channeled trend to the downside. It's a very controlled, since it made the high, lower highs, lower lows. And I think a retest of the 200 period on the daily seems awfully likely. I'm not into the whole, let's go into things before earnings, and then kudos to anybody that does. I like the trend after. And if it doesn't get back above the 50, I'm just thinking trend into the 200 on Broadcom. But you got something pretty specific on there, Andrew. I heard you say small cap names, but was it just plays for index additions that you're looking at, or do you have specific small cap names that you were looking at? Because I heard you say that earlier.
So the best time to shine, again, when it comes to, I'll just say this, when it comes to trading indices, you guys have to understand that when it comes to which ones to long, let's say we expect a reversal into Friday tomorrow, you actually want to play the most beaten down ones. So if you look at between IWM, the Dow Jones, and SPY QQQ, you'll see that the most beaten down were actually the Dow Jones, of course, being with the negative seasonals, but also IWM has suffered the most out of almost every indice on these last few days here. So this would actually see the biggest reversal. This is just a basic principle that the laggers get bought up the first on a reversal, and the leaders get the continuation bounce. So let's say tomorrow we get a reversal, and then Monday, Tuesday we see continuation. Monday and Tuesday, you actually want to play SPY and QQQ because those were the leaders, specifically QQQ. So that's how you actually want to play that. So I would play IWM tomorrow for potentially gap up, but the best time to play these small caps is going to be between the 19th and 23rd. That is when I'm going to start taking entry in a lot of these small cap names. We talk about names like CART. We talk about recent IPOs. The theme moving forward into the end of September, October, is look at 52-week high stocks breaking out. I mentioned that last time, but also recent IPOs. Try to find one within the last 2-3 years. That's going to be names like CART. That's going to be names like KVU, LTH, these type of names breaking into their 52-week highs. So that's the best time to play it, 19th through the 24th, 23rd. That's when I'm going to take bigger entries in these, but as far as day trades, I'm looking for a bounce in IWM.
There you go. Get specific, but also be not just about what you're looking at, but when you are looking at it. Always different day trading to swing trading there. Andrew Rader, we can't thank you enough. Look, it is a standing invite if you do come to Toronto. Believe me, we'll roll out the red carpet for you. We'll have you live. You can be up on the desk. You can hang out on the floor. To be sure, you just got to let us know what your schedule is like. The thing about us is we're here every single day that the market is open. We're not actually going anywhere. So it's not about our schedule. It's about your schedule. So the red carpet is out there. I know we both said it. We'd love to have you here.
What do you guys do on Halloween? I feel like a Halloween stream would fit my character quite well.
Okay.
Well, we're here, and we don't have a plan for what we're dressing up as. But Sean and I always try to do some kind of a fun costume day. Not everyone on the show participates. I think it would be fun if they all did. I'm just going to throw some people out there. I know Adara will.
So who are you saying specifically then?
Nobody, Brendan. I don't know if what. I'm just saying. But no, if you show up and want to do that on Halloween, we're all for it.
I think Halloween week, somewhere in October, we'll plan it, but I think that'd be a funny stream. Yep.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
I could be a pineapple. Neil could be the pizza, and we just go right together. You know.
That's very cute of you. I think
that
could definitely work. Yeah, Neil would definitely like that. Look, I got to say one thing. There's very few traders that come out here and actually make predictions and make calls on certain names. You put your neck out there, right there for IoT and AVGO. So I want to thank you for sharing all those ideas with us and with everybody here as well. So a lot of respect for doing that. Well educated and beyond your years. So honestly, I'm saying that truthfully. So thank you, Andrew, for coming through one more time. The market's trying to come back in now. It's 3 o'clock. It's Power Hour. Andrew, thank you so much once again for everything that you've provided for us. We're going to get back. Yes. We're going to get back to trading now, and we're going to write some of those ideas down. It's Raider Trader. Thank you very much. There you go,
guys. Bye bye.
Bye-bye. All right.
Appreciate you, Raider.
Yeah.
I wrote down that I'm calling it Sam Sarah, but IoT.
Yep.
Sam Sarah reporting after the bell tonight. So make sure you stick around for that one. The aftermarket show should be a lot of fun. It should be Danielle Shea should be on tonight.
She'll be on tonight. Yeah, I hope.
Yeah.
So. I mean, I'm going to surprise her. She probably doesn't know that I'm on. She always messages me.
I sent her a message saying it would be you.
Oh, okay,
I don't know.
Okay, good. So
I should have checked.
Oh,
well, it's not.
There goes that. No, it's fine.
My bad.
No,
my bad.
It's okay. It's okay. I mean, I'll just make her happy earlier. Okay, here we go. There it goes.
Down.
Let's spin it going again right here. There goes Nvidia. Down now in the money now, another 40 cents as we were reloaded. Yeah, man, we did it again on this name. I mean, Andrew Raider, look, great kid, obviously sticks his neck out. I just gave him a lot of respect there, and I do mean it. But we're actually making these calls live on the air as well. Bang, bang, bang. Boom, right down in the downside. I want to thank all of you guys today for watching. Thank you, Andrew, for coming on. But there goes another move down there for Nvidia. Hope some of you guys took some of that. I'm probably just going to get out of Intel right now. We're coming back into this spot. If the market does hit, obviously, then we'll see about getting down. What's happening?
There's Amazon concerns with their AI.
Oh yeah, there's something about Business Insider.
Yeah.
All right, let's just. Oh, and Microsoft. Okay, hold on a second. Microsoft and Amazon coming through. Yeah, Dara will go find it out when we see it on the Benzinga Pro platform. We'll get it. I don't think it's anything. Nothing's really moving. Microsoft not having an effect on that. I mean, the market's coming down. It's been doing that for a minute, obviously, as we sit into these shorts. And Amazon, same difference. So I don't think this is anything major, but we will get that story. Oh, y'all, in a minute. All right, so Intel and Nvidia. Oh, we did get stopped out of that 15% there for flat once that broke, which is crazy because again, we get out at the very top of the futures. Wow. We're up on this name. It's going to be a big name. It's actually the third most profitable name on the show today is the TQs, and we didn't even trade it that hard. We just hit this here and then again there. But we did get stopped out. You got to be disciplined, and that's one part of the game that I've really completely changed is trying to make sure that we do stop ourselves out at realistic prices, not hold out for like, oh, if it comes back up here, we're going to get stopped out. That's how you lose too much money. So at the end of the day, big time trading happening, man. 40 cents in the money each on Nvidia and on Intel. And we'll look for a little bit more Tesla. Look, there it is, man. It's that same trade.
It's bouncing off VWAP.
Yeah, now
it's trying to bounce off VWAP.
It's right there. I mean, I don't know if you guys want to take it.
It tagged it. I got it at 63. It tagged up to like 85, 90s, and then pulled right back in. So you're retesting. The market looks weak. This is what the NASDAQ just wicked the top and came back underneath 1900. So this is what it looks like on a 15-minute here for the NASDAQ. We broke the high right back underneath. Now you're holding underneath 19. That looks awfully bearish. I mean, Tesla is one of the few stocks that looks strong. So if we can bounce off VWAP, I'll be happy if it gets back to 230.5. I do prefer the bear side of things in the afternoon. Didn't see many things that were strong. Let me just cancel the reload on AMD. We got AMD at VWAP while we were talking to Andrew. It finally pulled into VWAP. Now it's retesting 139. If it breaks 39, when I got the short last time off VWAP, it stalled at 138.70. Almost exactly the same entry, and then VWAP was the same thing because it hasn't really moved this much during lunch. So if it gets down through 139, I want to look to take it out here 138.60, 270. Adara?
There's a story here with regards to Amazon. About 6 minutes ago, Business Insider publishing this report here, basically including how leaked messages are showing there's some challenges for Amazon's AI products. There's also apparently some concerns for Amazon's with regards to losing customers to Microsoft. So MSFT could also be on watch here. Amazon itself not doing too much volume on this. And it's worth noting this is not the first time recently that Business Insider has done some of these articles with related to Amazon and leaks about AI. A couple weeks ago, they had an article about this leaked recording with regards to Amazon cloud chiefs saying that some of these cloud developers can stop working because of AI. So lots of interesting things happening here with regards to Business Insider and some of these AI Amazon sources. This story, though, apparently about Amazon being concerned with their AI product amidst MSFT competition, guys.
Okay, so I mean, we knew it was kind of those. I got to check my message here.
Yeah, that looks a little more.
We have a big playoff game here.
It didn't make sense to me. I'm like, well, why would it be bad for both of those, but good for, in a sense, Microsoft. Amazon's above VWAP right now, so this might not be the one on that news to try the fade. I mean, if it were to break 177.5, that would be one thing. Just one other update for you. Rivian still refuses to break VWAP. The good news is it was finding support at the morning range high, 1365. It's since lost that and now holding on to VWAP. I'm still bidding in front of 1350. It's kind of an obvious level. Look at the tape teleportation, the way it accelerated off 1350. It's a round number as well. So if it breaks VWAP, that's a target. But if it cannot break VWAP, I was going to trail it to 75. I'm simply just moving the trail. There's no new entry for me on Rivian. You can see it's not really doing a heck of a lot, so I don't see a reason to trade it, but I do want to move the trail on this. And this was one of those trend reversal trades that we got in there. Millennial Farmer just said WBA. Like, is that actually moving? Because the days that this decides to move, now that it's so cheap, when you get stocks like this that get this cheap, it's not going to take much for Walgreens to, well, I mean, it's only up 1%, to do like 5-10% types of days. And I know it's been bleeding every single day. This could be an update for them, which is saying a lot. I would love for this to start rounding out and making money. Anything in the retail space that looks like this, I'm just looking for curls on a lot of these stocks. I think you might just get 1 or 2 days of fantastic long opportunities. Unfortunately, Walgreens is not really breaking out $9 or any big resistance levels, so we'll have to put that off for another time. But I think they're worth a look. Any of those beaten up names, certainly when they start going, like an example of that, obviously, recently you saw it when Target got its first little move to the upside. That was fantastic. I want to say even the Chinese ADRs, like a NEO, like when it's been so beaten and the chart's down for a year, all it takes is 1 or 2 solid days, and then you can really start to get going. So Tesla's about to lose out on VWAP here. We're able to get a scalp of like 30 pennies, but I think it's going to lose this in here, and there it is. I'm just getting out of it. It needs to reestablish itself, maybe break the 30 level. But the way I saw the futures going, I'd rather be bearish overall, and I want to look to places to add. If we're going to add on AMD, great. I was also thinking about ARM, because ARM is about to retest a pretty big trend from earlier this morning. And it's just not a lot of velocity. The only thing keeping me away from ARM is that it's not doing a heck of a lot of volume. Oops, I picked the wrong line. You always want the infinity line. There you go. That way I don't have to actually draw the whole thing for you. It's trying to break a trend as well. I just don't know why it's not moving more. The market's volatile. Maybe GOs tonight. Chips are moving around here. Yet ARM is holding on to the highs. And then it's got no reason to be up here. There's no news on this thing. Why is it up 2 points?
Yeah, I mean, the thing is Nvidia, I mean, some of these names some of the beat up names, I feel like, trying to get back upside again. I mean, even Nvidia here, even though it's starting to go down and we are short this name, you're still up 1%. So I think a little bit of a battle back here today. One name that's battled back a little bit as well. We're going to still wait for Google. I was going to talk about Google, but we're still going to wait for Nvidia to go down. If we get stopped out, guys, we get stopped out. We already know where the high is right here. I might actually just take another piece out at the 200 period. I mean, the market's at VWAP. If it continues to work, good on us. But I don't have too much faith that this market is going to just continue to move the way we want it to, right? I mean, it could go sideways for a minute. I don't think Broadcom has anything to do with it or any of those earnings. It's just we've made this move. If it breaks, great. We don't really need to take that risk here with Nvidia. It seems like it wants to dance around a little bit at these levels. So let's just put a bid here. There it is. We take a bid at 13s. Now we take that out. And if it drops in, we'll hold a small piece now as we are getting lighter and lighter in all of these positions. The name I want to look at quickly was Google. Okay, well, let me open up another level too. Remember, I am on.
You're on the new version.
Okay, but that's okay. That'll load up real quick. All right, so GOOGL right now. Come back in there. I think I might have hit the enter button a little bit too many times there. So, all right, here we go. Google falling back in, but it was actually a good day. It was actually much better not too long ago when I thought we were going to be breaking through VWAP on a strong market. But we're underneath. So this could be one. I remember we said we'd have to wait for something to happen. Well, this is a good happen spot right here. 156.50. Look at this move on Google early. I didn't even realize this happened, man. This went straight up $4 right off the open. Wow. Okay, so that was an absolutely huge move off the open. Falls all the way back in there into pretty much nothing. I mean, yesterday's close, I guess, is a good area. We always talk about those numbers as being something to look at. So I guess that's exactly what it did, 156.50. So I take that back. But now, good opportunity there to short, especially underneath, and a good opportunity there to short. So you can either wait for this to bump back up, or I think we'd be patient here. I mean, if the market falls down, sure, we'll have Nvidia, we'll have Intel, but this could be a new position because we could give it all back. I mean, it's a nice move up. We didn't hold. I mean, that 160, even on the daily, right? I mean, you would have liked to see that. You still have work to do after that. 163, 165, more upside there for Google. I just want to check in on HUD 8. This is not a name that we've traded today. It's only going to remind me that we had Raheem on today. And, you know, he's just talking about how bad some of these... Yeah, it's up today, but how bad some of these names have been. I remember getting out of this name at $13 or $14 right into this area here. It wasn't back in June. It was well before that. Oh, it was on that split. That's right. Yeah, so we split up. We got back into there, out and in around this area, which was good for us. And now that's where we're hovering again. But it does rip up to $20 there. That was
Look at this thing compared.
Yeah, Mara, that's what I'm saying. HUD 8's really weird. It doesn't trade the same as MAR.
No.
That is for sure. Okay, so we covered some Nvidia there. But anyways, HUD 8. It's up today. I'm going to rewind. Again, it's becoming less and less. I think he said something like they were making $43,000 per mined coin or something like that. I don't know. Don't remember the exact number. But obviously under the price of Bitcoin, so still a reasonable investment for them to be doing that.
Just not what they're making.
But not, cutting into margins, I believe is the story with some of these miners. And then
I mean,
have Mara.
Dude, Mara is literally breaking the low of the day. It's interesting to see HUD doing what it is when Mara is bleeding to the downside. I mean, Mara is getting, you know what, insert something. Sometimes I catch myself. I was about to say something inappropriate. But yeah, you're getting woodshedded here on Mara. If this loses $13, there's nothing underneath here. Well, okay, not nothing. There's $7. That was a consolidation level for a breakout. There's no major moving averages to be seen. This is nasty. Clearly, it's relatively weak. We didn't have any prints on Mara today. It's been down every single day for like 7 days in a row. I'm just going to slap the old fail on it. Usually, we're looking out for a Mara short. At some point when it's doing this, it just didn't happen today. I don't remember the reason why.
Wow.
I know it didn't have a good reason. Down 6.5 points. It's baffling to me. I'm not going to try and come up with an explanation for HUD 8. It just is what it is, and just sort of respect what's happening. That's nasty, nasty, nasty. It's a good thing we got out of Tesla. Tesla did just get down to 29 even, but it's holding on to 229 even, I should say, not $29. But it is holding on to that even dollar. It's still looking like it's a stair step to the downside. Broke down at VWAP. It to me looks like we're about to have a bit of a flush going into the last like 40 minutes of the day here. A little Rivian, but I'm looking for an entry into something. It might just have to be a re-entry into what we're already in. If we're not getting back to VWAP, there's always lower highs that you can play with. And AMD's got this lower high. Like support is turning into resistance at 139.30. And if that's going to be the case, then if I was going to trail it to that price anyways, then why not play a re-entry in there? And why not? If to me it's to trail out to here to wait to there, then we can play the short here because there's still room to the low. If we were at the low of the day, it'd be a different story, but we're not actually at the low of the day just yet. So I want to see if we can get something in the 20s on advanced micro devices, move my stop just above this 30 level. It'll be a trail for the shares that we have left, and we'll see if we can add to it as well. Robbie V saying coin looks dicey. Well, if Mara looks like that chart, I can't imagine coin's having a good day, but it's not the same as the miners at all. Where is coin on my drop down? There we go. Coin saying, you know what? Coin's not really moving much. It's holding the low of the day. It does look dicey, Oh, look at this long. If you were trading coin today, look at the 160 reversal. We were just talking about reversals on volume earlier in the day, and this is what I mean by it. Why can't I? There, now you can see it even better. Look at the volume candle. It's the second largest. Well, obviously this is a dark pool one because it didn't move. But the open, and then right here, when it failed a 160 breakdown. So there's the hold. Always good opportunities for a reversal when you get that kind of a wick on that kind of volume. You try to catch it on the way back up. Maybe in here at the 50 level, it gets a clean move for a buck. It kind of barcodes after that, which tells you how weak the stock is. It couldn't even get to VWAP. So not a good look for any of these crypto names. Coinbase at least is holding on to the low. I don't like where this one's headed either. Look at that chart. You're already at the this is the August 5th panic bottom right here at 160 bucks. Like that's what it bounced off of. If it loses 160 again, look out below on coin. That's nasty. This does look terrible.
All right, well, I mean, as Neil's talking, hopefully you guys see the bottom. There's the short off VWAP. Oh my. Wow. Okay. Yeah. We can get a 50 bid here. I mean, that happened way quicker than we thought. Neil, we just put 50 cents in our pocket right there, like as quick as that. Wow. Okay, here we go, man. Our net rate now, let's get to the downside. As the market be flushing down, it's now $1. I don't know if there's news that just hit now. We are $1 in the money on Nvidia. We are 70 cents in the money on the futures. And here we go again, guys. It is time to get paid one more time here. Good. Let's go. We still have 60% of this trade. Where will the TQs end? Nobody knows, but we have a rough idea because we can look at support. What about 61.20? Let's put our bid right there right now. Just another trade that we had on. I mean, we just put this one on. Risk to reward, baby. I mean, honestly, like this is pretty good. Up to the 50 period moving average. We'll give this trade I wanted to get more shares at the 50 period. Did not come through. Nice move down right there. Good move on the markets. We'll find out if there is anything going on in the broader space. But Nvidia really cracked there as well, right into support. Let's see if it holds. I mean, it just got right into this level. We're waiting for this to break. We sort of talked about that. So hopefully that will come through again once, twice. I mean, these are NFTs right there. Thank you to everybody in the chat as well. There you go. Scan that QR code right there. Learn how to trade or just follow what we're trying to do here, and hopefully you'll be able to learn a little bit on that. 61.32 bottom right there for the TQs. I'm in the 20s, I believe. Yeah, so we'll wait at quarters, see if we can get that fill. As there it goes, man, down to the downside. Yeah, what's up, Honest Abe, and everybody else there in the chat. This is what it is, so let's go. What's up, Sinful Davy? Sinful Davy, I think you're new here. Welcome, thank you for being here.
What up?
You will soon see what we're all about, and we'll just hope that we can continue to do this. I mean, we take not as big. Well, I mean, sometimes we have $5 winner today as well. We have Apple was a monster winner. I mean, there's different trades. We'll go for different things, right? Like Apple by far is P&L number one here today, and it's just off one trade. It's taking a lot of shares and just getting them out, and then that's 224. This is a 222, so that's $2.50 right there. That's the high of the day. So you piece some of it out as we go, but especially here into the close. I mean, Coffee Trader was asked. Thank you so much, Adam DeLuz, and thank you so much, Kyle Burdett as well. I mean, you guys, some of you that have been here, and this is the most legitimate for me because some of you traders that have been here for a while have seen this happen more often than not. So that's the part. Not only do we could sit here and justify what we're doing to you, but you guys stamp the legitimacy of all of this every single day. So I want to definitely say thank you so much to you guys as well. All right, that's what that is. So let's gonna figure out what we're doing now. It's Nvidia 70 cents, it's Intel 40 cents, and it's the NASDAQ with that little dip down.
There was no news. I was listening. I looked. There was nothing happening. We just rolled the heck over. So that's why you got to be in those shorts, everybody. I got taken out on that wick. I was already bidding. Look, I was bidding AMD here. Remember, we showed that level. It's like VWAP into where it came last time. So I was sitting on the bid at previous lows as we were looking to re-enter it, and then the market dumped. I'm going to leave my order in there, 139.20-ish, if we do end up pouncing back to the upside. But remember, we lost that 19,000 on the NASDAQ. So it's an important one, but you know what? Okay, Sean, you're going to want to pay attention to this. Because this is a game changer for stock traders.
I don't have the thing up. Wait 1 second here. Yes, you can get funds to trade stocks and don't even have to be a professional trader. Anyone can join.
Anybody like Rivian Millionaire, hold my beer in the chat.
No,
doesn't
those guys
matter
can't
who.
join. No, not
anybody can. But Trade the Pool is a prop firm that funds stock traders worldwide. No more risking your own money and no more PDT rule, which I know you guys all hate. You can even get an account funded with up to $260,000 worth of buying power.
You trade real shares. You can short penny stocks. You don't have to trade alone either. You can join the traders and Trade the Pool community live on Discord. Search for tradethepool.com and you'll find all the information you need. I truly do wish there was something like this. When I started trading, it's amazing and it's a great opportunity for all of us to get involved right now, get funded, get your 10% off, scan that QR code immediately. Look, at least scan it and go figure out what it's all about.
Exactly.
I mean, that was the one thing to do.
Costs you nothing to check it out.
It does cost you
due diligence.
Absolutely nothing. Yeah, thank you again to everybody in the chat. I mean, if you guys are part of funded trading or anything like that, I mean, if I'm going to be 5 for 5 today on the symbols that we've traded. Whether or not you're taking profit here, taking profit there, that is completely going to be up to you. But we've shown you today trades that, boom, there's Apple, right? Amazon long right into here, right? That we got out of that one. We sort of talked about that. Intel with the short. Okay. And these were all, by the way, written down. This is not like, some of these are trades that we got in the wild, but not Intel. Apple, yes. Nvidia is a trade in the wild, long until we're wrong. Short. Coming back in on Nvidia, that's a positive name. The futures today, if you are a futures trader, man, I've got you right there. Nice moves on the TQQs. This is probably P&L number 1 for me over the last 2 months, and P&L probably number 1 for the show. I would say obviously there. TQQs as well. That's a downside move. And then here we go, Tesla, P&L number 2 today because it broke through 226.50. And I think I've gotten rid of my sticky note somewhere, but it's on there right there. 226.50 is your trade of the day. So anybody joining for the first time, these are free trade ideas given out just by following me at TraderTVSean. And it's called the Sticky Notes. So you can go hashtag all of that. So yeah, thank you again for all of the talk in the chat. And yeah, make sure you scan all of the QR codes, including that Benzinga one where we get the news from.
You never really know, right? Like when you get like anything on the news, you have no clue. We saw U.S. Steel the other day. That's why if I hear anything with regards to like a stock that's being bought,
yeah,
like
U.S. Steel was.
Like you got to go over to, like if I hear something like Norseman, it doesn't matter because if a deal falls apart, I've seen it happen a few times and it can bleed. Speaking of, Ladera.
$4 on that trade.
This part of the show is brought to you by Benzinga Pro. If you feel lost in the noise of the market, then you need Benzinga Pro. Benzinga Pro cuts through the clutter and gives you the insights you need to make smarter, faster trades. From real-time news to unusual options activity, we'll show you exactly what's moving the market and why. Don't miss out on your chance to trade like a pro. Visit benzinga.com/pro to start your free trial today. Also worth noting, I'm seeing some announcement here about Robinhood, HOOD. Apparently, Vlad Tenev, CEO, is set to, quote, share the next chapter for Robinhood on Wednesday, October 16th at 6:30 p.m. Eastern time. So potential Robinhood update in just over a month from now, guys.
Okay. Potential Robinhood update in just over a month. Hopefully it goes a little better than when PayPal was supposed to shock the world. That didn't work out too well for them in the moment. And things have gone a heck of a lot better since, but good luck to Vlad there. I wanted to update, I got out of AMD. Rivian, like I said, we were in that earlier and it hasn't moved. Intel did come back into VWAP, but it's now broken. I want to say the opening range bottom, but technically that's not the opening range bottom. It's like 1130 or so. Had this at VWAP multiple times, but as you can see, like early and sometimes 930, it is what it is. Like you have bigger opportunities to move, so you give it a little bit more room. But started out in the red, we're able to get tops, and then it's been VWAP ever since. At this point, if it gets back above the 40 level, I want to jump out of Intel. There's usually an imbalance with Intel of a couple of million shares that gets paired off, but if it comes out in the other direction, then I want to be getting out if I can. So Intel, I'm trailing it to 1940. We'll see what happens there. Amazon, nothing really happening over there in Amazon. And I do want to go back over and just if we can get that same fill on AMD. I'm still sitting on the offer. At some point, put up or shut up. Is it going to bounce to be able to fade again? I don't think we're going to see VWAP. I think that'd be extreme if it gets to VWAP again, but I'm looking at 139.20 where it kind of broke to the downside the second time. Now that we're out of it, just looking for a re-entry, it's going to be the chips that I would like to be in if we can get them. And shout out to everyone that was long C3AI. Wow. I mean, it worked short, but it's been a long. No question about it. How is this stock above $21 at this point? Doesn't matter. No such thing as good or bad earnings. There's just earnings, and then what the market decides to do with it. It was an SSR bounce play, not one that I was looking for, but it 100% was. Down 20%, catching a bid right away off the open. It held on to VWAP, and now taking out some fresh highs. It hasn't even been an uncontrolled move. There's no, outside of the morning, there's no like crazy you know what type of candles. Just a very strong linear move here in C3AI. I'd be worried if this is a day 2 play tomorrow, because if it comes right back into prior resistance, I still think it's going to be a short up there at 22 bucks. You come back into resistance, support, I should say, turning into resistance, and I'm going to want to fade this, especially the way it dropped in the aftermarket. You guys all saw it live. There was no bid to be seen. If it gets up to 22, I can see the same thing happening again.
Okay, we just covered some more there on the TQQs at 61.60, 61.68 or 69 there. Just noticing that, hey, man, that big drop down, we definitely took advantage of it. I mean, it fell right into our lap there. We just managed to watch it, saw it like sort of come back upside there, got filled, did not continue its downside push. So barring any kind of news, I mean, we did have that Amazon, Microsoft stuff that didn't look like it was doing much there. So we'll just take advantage of some of these moves. I mean, there's the break of VWAP. That could have been part of it. I mean, we've been talking about VWAP for 25 years. So that was a good move there. So that could be it. And that's why we're short. We've talked about shorting stocks like Nvidia at VWAP today. I mean, come on, these all paid out. We don't have very many shares left. This was a decent out right here at 107 and change because I really thought the 200 period could hold. So now we're holding like, again, another 10% here waiting for a downside play. We will basically have 10% of everything. We have 40% left of the TQQs. This is our biggest position right now by far. Intel and Nvidia are both fine. They're obviously well in the money now, but pretty light positions as we've been getting out. I said already earlier, someone asked me about how many shares we had left on the TQs, and that was right here, actually, when we got stopped. Here it is right here. We got back in. It's when we got stopped out right here. And I said we only had 15% left. And I said because my conviction was minimal. And that's the thing. You know, in order to put on big shares, you know, I mean, big shares is one thing. Because if you have your levels to get out, I feel like it's fine. But to be able to hold on, like to say, I'm holding on to half of this trade, or I'm holding on to 75% of this trade, you have to have reasons to do that. My reason, and I said it, I thought we were going to be barcoding for a minute and we'd have to take out VWAP for something to really happen. Well, it took out VWAP, so we put on a trade and something happened. So we cashed out of it, man. We cashed out 20% there early, just in case. We always take stuff out at the 200 period. Then we get into past support. That's a banger trade. That's 50 cents. And then we take out another 20% as we kind of watch it do nothing. So right now, that's kind of my logic. I'd like to see a break lower. Did Google break that level? I mean, that was another name that we were going to look at right there. No, it does not. That came pretty close, though, on that scare down there to 156.50. I think that could be a trade for sure. If it wants to break lower, that's definitely in the realm of possibilities to hit that. Thing is, if you're going to hit that Google trade short, you have to at least give it to the 200 period, and I'd prefer giving it to the 50 period. So that's 70 cents. Now, you have to ask yourself, do you have 70 cents in this name into the close? I mean, yeah, if the market continues to go down, we should be able to see a 156 possibly into there. There'll be probably other names that will be better shorts, but I like that. I don't think it's, again, not another max position or anything, but I think that would be one of the shorts that I would like in there. And then we did, just because we've been hitting Tesla pretty good, let's go over and have another look here. So we had looked at this earlier up here and talked about maybe shorting it. This was the better short. Up here, it's kind of risky because we could easily break. But when it comes back up, you're playing the momentum would stop at this level. So you could have averaged into it using sort of this as your stop, and then now you get the pay dirt back down. I much better like that short rather than sitting here and doing that. For a name like Tesla, that's very aggressive, up 4.5%. Generally, I don't like to go short names that are already up so much. So that's why we pick on the futures today, because they're down. Intel, not down today, but I was
under VWAP.
is down today, actually. and under VWAP. But
It was green at one point, though.
Yes, the Intel trade is a
did
completely
get-
different
did get
story
green.
because we're still in this trade from earlier. So this is just a hold. And then Nvidia, yeah, it's under VWAP. But Nvidia's still up on the day.
And the other thing too is like I don't mind something like if you're short something that is it could be at the high of the day, but it could have like 7 days down in a row or be in a downward trend on a daily chart. There's other things to look at for strong and weak stocks. So like Intel can be up on a day, but I mean, given what's happened on the stock for the last few months, it's difficult to ever have it be a long. Let's go to Adara. It's almost 3:30 in here. We're about to get some early looking balances, but have a look at the sector board.
Today we're going to actually take a look at some of these sectors with outstanding weakness, some of these stocks with outstanding weakness, a lot of strength in some of these tech names, but let's take a look at the other side. A lot of these are going to be in the health space. Eli Lilly kicking off the list here. This one, near low of days here, down about 3%. They did have some data here for its once weekly insulin showing a non-inferior reaction, so the market not reacting too positively to this news. It seems pretty neutral, but LLY sharply to the downside. Zimmer Biomet down about 8% here. During the midday, this company was at a conference, and there was some reports speculating that their enterprise planning here apparently is going to impact their revenue going forward. So ZBH also sharply weak here. Then we have McKesson down about 11%. This one having their Q2 fiscal 2025 guidance just issued, below expectation here for adjusted earnings per share and within the range here when they reaffirmed their EPS guidance for the year. So Q2 EPS lower than expected, mid-range fiscal year 2025 EPS for MCK down about 11%. Some weakness in this market despite the earlier strength, guys.
No McLovin at all for McKesson there, down that 10 points. Quite unlike the other earnings we were just looking at that bounce like C3AI. That one just all the way to the downside. But you know what? If you're interested in trading and passionate about trading and love trading like we do, and you are in Canada, the campus program is for you at Real Trading. Scan that QR code below. Check out realtrading.com/campus. Check out the description in the video. This is a free program brought to you by Real Trading where you get to learn the basics. Everyone starts out from a different point, whether you went to school for economics or business, whether you've traded before, whether you have absolutely no market experience whatsoever. Do you have a passion for trading, and do you want to be involved as a trader and do it the right way? If the answers are yes, then to me, this is for you. Market introductions where you start, then you get to trade this platform, P-Pro 8, that we've been trading on for years and years. It is built for traders by traders. We can put suggestions in, we put tickets in, and they give updates to us. As a matter of fact, there's a new version just coming out. They're always improving this thing. After a couple of weeks of introduction, you get to go into the simulator, phase 3, called TMS, one-on-one coaching the entire way through. This is about 1 month long. You get a certificate at the end of it. Then you get the real nitty-gritty. That's when you get to go live, trade real money, and earn real money with a top possible funded account. All you have to do is meet some metrics, get green, and then you have the opportunity to level it up. You're going to be trading 16 hours a week. So I know I said it's free, but you've got to put in time. That's what your currency is here. As a trader, sometimes you got to open up an account, burn your own money. In this case, you've got to put in time and effort. You're still going to get that one-on-one coaching on a daily basis. Some of the boys in the back that you see walking past here are going to be training you and helping you out personally. You're going to meet some objectives. I'm not saying it's easy. I am saying it's free, and I am saying if you have a passion, then scan that QR code below. If you want to be a trader, you might as well do it right. It's hard enough trading by yourself. It's hard enough trying to figure out internal discipline, but it's better if you can do it with a tried and tested program and a tried and tested platform. And again, a firm where your goals are going to be aligned. I think that's very important. Let's go to Adair.
An update here in Eastside Distilling, one of the strongest small cap names this morning. This one was up at one point over 250% initially here after announcing its merger with Beeline Financial Holdings. Now around 3:30, we have a gap to the down, or a move to the downside here at downside halt. Eastside Distilling now announcing a $400,000 registered direct offering under the NASDAQ. For context, they do have a market cap about $1.3 million, 1.5 million share float. And I am seeing a theoretical auction price right now of $1.38 for anyone following EAST, guys.
Thank you very much there, Dara. And just quickly, early look imbalances. HPE, they reported last night 1.2 to million to the buy side, actually. They were tanked this morning and actually recovering pretty well. I just trailed out of Rivian. That just came out. I just trailed out of Intel. That also came back out as we just got through 19.4. So I'm not in any more positions right now. I'm not in an AMD, but I just got flat after a couple of trailouts. And Veronica asked a great question that I'm not sure the answer to. I know you have to be an adult to trade with Real Trading, so you do have to be 18. I could make the assumption that the campus program is the same, but we can always double check and get a definitive answer. That's a great question. If you're interested in trading, you can never start your education too early. I'll give you that. So if you have passion for it when you're young, I mean, watch our program, read up. We have some educational videos that I think we're going to try and get back into. So you can always start learning at absolutely any age. You're never too young to learn about the financial markets and maybe take a little bit of control of your own personal finances there. But the market, just a little bit of a bounce there. So we'll see. I think it is going to be 18, is what it is. So Intel trail out, definitely the trail out there. I also saw this in Coin. Like Coin did break 160. And now it's right back above. So there was a bit of a reversal. I wasn't tracking Bitcoin when that happened, but with the market just making a little bit of a bounce, I'm just going to throw up IBIT. They probably wicked. Yeah, there's a bounce in IBIT. So it looks like all of those names came back in. AMD, like I'm not in AMD. I got filled a couple of minutes ago while we're doing the read, and it broke the resistance almost immediately. So essentially in and out for like 1 or 2 cents, but I'm not in that position right now. I might get back into it, but I'm not in that position, just to show you guys.
All right, Intel. Okay, hold on a second. I got to refresh this as well because one more time I threw out the wrong amount of shares. It seemed like. Okay, all right. So TQQ.
Gotcha.
So we do that goes right back up. So we got stopped out. We tried it one more time. We talked about that. Came back up right there. Breakthrough view up. We get out there at a break of 10s. So out of the TQQ. So our last try will be a flush down. We're still at pretty much the highest spot we've been at all day here. I was going to get out of Intel right now because I just feel that why not get out of Intel? It's already to the downside. Maybe my keys. It keeps on sending a different default. I have to make sure I actually even have these shares. Yeah, okay, we have them. All right, so we'll get out of them. All right, so hopefully it fills us, and we'll get out of Intel, and we won't worry about it. We still are short Nvidia. That just had a reload spot. Again, we weren't sitting here. We went and got another T. We have a big baseball game tonight, so we have to make sure our voice is okay. But we are off tomorrow. Join Obi and Neil tomorrow. That should be a lot of fun there to take you through on Fridays, and we'll talk about, they'll have all their different ideas coming through tomorrow. That is 107.55. It's 3:37. We're minutes away from the imbalances. We can wait to see if anything else is happening right now. We can check on a name that we haven't looked at yet today, Micron. This is a pretty beat up name, still under that $90. It did get going there today through 90, stopped at 90.50, under view up, under. Again, this could be another name that winds up trying to break as well. That's going to be Micron. Oh, we did get that fill on. Intel, so good. So now we are flat. Shows us only in Nvidia perfectly. So that is the right trade right now. Just trying to find out if anything else is moving. Shopify, no. Affirm, no. Let me just check out AVGO here heading into the close one more time for Broadcom. We talked about it maybe not doing anything at all. Looks like Broadcom is right and not doing much at all into the close. So we'll wait to see for that one. Over 6% looking for that move tonight. Over. And then IoT, we had our friend, I guess it must be a New York name there, Raider Trader, talking about trouble underneath this name. So we'll see what's happening with IoT. Loading data 26, 27. So an IoT, nice upside move now, but that's just kind of following the market. So we'll wait to see if there's anything there. About down 4 of the last 5 days heading into earnings, not looking great there. But that's what we're looking for right now. Meta may be moving. You know what name that, again, the number one name for me today is going to be Apple. And we sort of talked about that a little bit. It's falling back into those levels again of 222. So again, right off there. I mean, that's a great break level as well. I mean, is this market going to fall apart here into the close? I mean, we've seen this happen before. Seems like it's trying to happen right now. Falling into the close here, 221.90. Watch out for that of a break there for Apple. These imbalances might be sell side, man. I don't know. Getting that opinion here, getting that feeling, but we'll wait. Some of these bigger names trying to come back in. We did get shaken out of that Q's position. Maybe we'll get back in it.
Yeah, I got shaken out of AMD, no question about it there. I just heard news on some stuff, but I couldn't even call it up, so it doesn't really matter. Coinbase back underneath that 160. I probably still like AMD better, but man, coin that 160 level is gigantic on the daily chart. Just want to see it sell underneath. Bitcoin's not doing anything. So I did get shaken out of AMD. When I was doing the read, I had the offer out there, and I saw the futures out of the corner of my eye. I'm like, okay, I usually like getting in on the way down, not on the way up. When it snapped up like that, I was like, that's not the way I want to take a fill. And I saw the futures looking very strong in that moment. I was able to get out essentially flat. So it's not like I lost any money on it, but clearly that was a shakeout. You can see it starting to come back into the downside, and I don't want to chase it, not right now. I am eyeballing Coinbase now that it's back underneath that 160 level. I don't have to pull out that daily chart. 160 was the August 5th panic low. And it still says, you know what, I'm going to hit my refresh because I don't know why that's, we probably need to refresh the position board. I'm not in AMD. That's why I keep showing you guys. Finally. Like I was shaken out of that trade. So I'm not in AMD and I'm not chasing it. I'm just going to refresh to make sure that's true, but I did punch out of that trade.
All right, we just put on another trade here onto the futures. I mean, I was saying that I thought this is going to be a short play again for the futures. And so we just kind of put our money where our mouth is. It breaks to the 200 period. We take a little bit of a bid there. It does drop into 72. I'm actually bidding 70s. Hopefully that will come through. Just picked it because it's right here. You got to put your orders out pretty quick. And sometimes, we just kind of throw it out there and just pick even levels and things like that. So this is the next stop down here could be 60s. Look, if the market comes in, the market comes in. There's nothing. We're just going to sit there and take fills. Otherwise, we'll try to stop out again. Maybe even at the same area. Maybe even earlier than that, man. I mean, if we take out VWAP, what about tens? Well, that's pretty much where we got stopped out. I mean, you're just talking about pennies at these levels right now. So I feel comfortable about holding it. Let's see if it wants to work. We're bidding 70s, but again, there he comes. Come on. That's had 71 on the bid. All right, I'm just going to put a bid at 74. Maybe we'll get it. That's too bad. So we just missed that fill by, again, 1 cent. Let's just take it. There we go. We'll take a 74 anyways. And again, we should have sat on our hands because there's 70 right, almost right there. All right, 20 cents in the money. This is why we trade this style, man. The profits are coming quick and fast and furious when you make plays like this. This is a 3 times levered NASDAQ ETF. So as opposed to trading the triple Qs, which you'll see right here, now down flat. So I don't know how it's going to, bouncing around now. But if you go, this will be triple one way. So there goes 0.6 to 0.24. So as you can see, it's very, very volatile right now at these levels. But that's what the TQQs are. Let's go. Look at that fill right there, guys. You want to talk about a chicken dinner winner. Again, we get right back on that horse, man. There is no problem, or in this situation, bear. Get right there, put on the trades, and then looky, right? There's that fill down there waiting for us into that area. We talked about getting bids into areas of support. So get stopped out, make the money, reload it, get stopped out. That stop out right there is 99s, that's 10s. That's about 12 cents of a stop out. Put the trade back on, and now we'll see if we can fail here into the close. It's just $1 winner for Nvidia, guys, to the downside right there. Again, another reload off VWAP. This T is going to wind up costing me a little bit of money, but that was a good trade. Hopefully you guys had it again. Nice move to the downside. Let's see if we do bleed here into the close. 3:42 now. 8 minutes left. Adam and everybody, again, thanks for the talk about the trades. We're just trying to do our best, man. And if they line up, we're going to put them on. And today we're putting them on. So not too much of a bias into direction other than short, but not a huge one. The market's just right now minus 0.1.
But it is trending to the downside.
Yeah.
There's no question about it. So, like I said, I'm not going to chase Coinbase. I'm actually going to cancel my order through 60 on Coin. Coin is not as liquid as I thought it was going to be. So when it broke to the downside and 60 went, the spread was 20, 30 cents, and it's still the same spread, and it just floated down. There was really no effective way to get in, especially if you're risking back to 160.50. So unfortunately, AMD, this is what happened. It is what it is. I'm not in position. I did get in and out, and now it's right back at the lows. Like, this is the one that I was short. This is the one that I wanted to reload on. We got out of our other shorts, and I don't want to chase any of these bottoms just yet. Not with the market coming toward the end of the day. We have 5 minutes to the imbalances. I'd rather react to that than try to punch out try to punch anything at the low of the day. You got to be careful. We've seen sometimes reversals, and if we do get a reversal at 350, I'd want to be able to react to that trade as opposed to testing some lows. I mean, Tesla got back above VWAP very briefly and looked like it might go. I think if there's a long at 350, this would be the only one I'd be interested in if it came out as a buy and bounce. Not to say that it would, but even as I say that one's starting to tank again there. So still heading into the downside is Tesla. It's a good thing we got out of it. It's okay to be wrong on Tesla. We got a small scalp trade out of it, thankfully, but you don't want to stay wrong. As if you get frustrated with this on the long side, you're now bleeding on that long trade. So I'm not going to short this bottom on AMD. We got to look for a pop here. I like 139. I like 139.25. If it breaks the low, there's about $1 of room to the downside. I'd rather have that play after 340 as opposed to entering a trade at 345 in there. And I'm eyeballing C3AI for a mean reversion. It's starting to look a little bit decent here. All I have to do is go sideways and break 21. Quick little scalp trade if it breaks that 21 level, as it's finally doing some kind of reversal. It's been a huge reverse trade for a C3AI here, but it's got to break that 21 before 350.
Remember we were mentioning that we had given some back and we were not at our high of the day? That was before this little move happened to the downside. So right now we are well on our way here. We only have now 20% left of the TQQs. So we'll hit the sirens up for that one because, again, like this is what we're trying to do. You know, we take that trade, comes in. Now, let's just be smart about it. We had this opportunity to get out before. We didn't get out of everything. We wound up losing on it. Let's just get out now. We're not even reloading anything. We're in this name. We're fine. This has been a big, big close, man. Again, 345, only 4 minutes left, and then we'll get those imbalances coming through. So here's what the imbalances are going to look like. Right now we have PBA, we have GM. What even is PBA, actually? PBA.
Is that Petrobras?
No, Pembina.
Oh, it's Pembina now.
Apparently there. So,
okay.
Yeah, Petrobras, yeah, PETR4 and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
All right, or PBR. All right, so there you go, PBA. Big sell imbalance, so we'll see if that's going to do anything. You can see it is making a move down in there. GM with a big sell imbalance. I mean, there's a nice little move here. This is twice. It's so nice. TRP and TPR. Okay, something's a mistake here for sure. As we go,
100%,
because it's literally the same number. HPE with a buy there. EDU, Citigroup with a sell. Let's see what's happening with some of these bank names into the close. Yeah, selling off a little bit here. Dow. Oh, NIO. So NIO with a little bit of a buy imbalance, but going the other way as well. Okay, so that's just what it is right now. I'm going to refresh this and only look at NASDAQ and NYSE imbalances. So bye-bye broker. These are all from 9:30. Once this populates in 3 minutes, then we will see what good. We, again, only have 5% left of Nvidia and 20% left of our TQQ trade. But Nvidia is still making it sing, man. I mean, this is still a good trade for us as it's coming back into the lows. It's now $1 in the money on this one. Okay, good. They got rid of their position there. So nicely done there. $1 in the money, $1 in the money, $1 in the money right now for Nvidia, and a big move now in the NASDAQ, man. I'm really glad that we were favoring that short as we described to you. So big time happening right now. What was your reason for the Nvidia short? Come on, man. Oh, who asked that? What's up, Xenon? I hope that you've been following the show, but this is the reason, my friend. This is called the volume-weighted average price. Once, twice, thrice. Should have had it there, went and got a T. It's okay. You miss trades sometimes. We had a big trade yesterday, a couple big trades here today again. So we'll watch out for Nvidia $1. And then the TQs was kind of the same thing. Just had some feels about weakness. It's been weak the last little while here into the close. We've had good market days and then sort of gave it back. Apple giving it back was one of the indications as well for me. But the fact that that was back into 222 was okay. I didn't even think it was here yet, but the fact that it was coming back into this level that we loved earlier gave everything back all day. When the leader gives it up, man, you got to sort of take your hats off to that play. And then there's Google right near that breaking spot. But guys, we are today, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for 5, right, on our ideas. So it's been really working. An minute and a half until we go. Thank you to Real Trading. Let's open the gates of hell into the close. We're short. We're short. If they open up, they open up.
Yeah, I mean, it's been trending down, no question. Gates of hell, I think you reserve for when we're doing those 2%, 3% kind of days like we had a couple of days ago. But I don't know. I have no idea if we get that. I'm going to have 2 names up, well, maybe 3, because I always try to throw Nvidia on chance, AMD, which we've been in, Tesla, which has been relatively strong. So when the imbalances drop, one of those 3 names is the ones I'll be looking for. Something else pops up, maybe we can be fast to it. There was a couple of things for index actions, but none that I think we're going to care about, like just some small ones in there, then something in Toronto. But I'm going to have eyeballs on some chip names going into this 350 imbalance. GM doesn't really concern me for that imbalance. I think that doesn't really matter. I've seen it there before. It usually pairs off. HPE could be interesting, though. So if we do see that, if that comes out bigger than the 1.3 that it's saying, I could be interested in going on over to that one. So I'm looking for any kind of sell imbalance on one of the chip names here, specifically AMD or Nvidia. Try to look to a short into the low of the day. Coinbase continues to bleed. I don't think I've ever seen a crypto name with an imbalance on it. The chip names do, the big cap tech do, and then if there's an index action, watch for that. So you're getting a move up here going into the imbalances, at least on AMD, which is what I'm watching, and I think a little one in Nvidia. So in about 10 seconds or just under that, you're going to see these start to populate. You'll probably have GM still be big, but we'll see if there's anything that joins it in just a couple of seconds. And here comes it. Nvidia's a buy of 1.7. Intel's a buy of 2 million. So there goes that. HP came out as expected. It's just those 2. JD is a sell of 1.8 million shares. That's decently big. So I'm going to go over to JP, not JP Morgan, JD. JD.com.
JD.Vance.
JD, yeah. So that's actually heading to the downside. Wow, JD was taking it on the chin a little bit here today. Not a good day for JD, but that is a 1.8 million sell imbalance. Too bad it's already at the lows of the day. I can't remember the last time a Chinese name had a big imbalance on it without an index action. It's a weird one for JD, but it is falling. If this one sticks around, it's only done 7.3 million shares on the day. So that's a quarter of the day's volume here on JD. Rather not chase it, but if I can get anything in the mid-30s, that could be a good entry. Just give it to the 40 level here on JD. 1.8 million. We'll keep it up. We'll keep a look at it just in case it pairs off. Intel and Nvidia both buy imbalances. JD's the one that sticks out to me right now.
All right. Yeah, we might as well just, I mean, we don't really have too much to prove here, obviously. Let's just go down and get out of the position. Now, if this cup falls back into the 50s or so, let's just take this out for Nvidia. I mean, that's been the low. I know it was a buy imbalance, I think, but it wasn't really, hold on a second. It wasn't really reacting to that, though. Yeah,
not that
buy,
big.
so it's not really doing too much right into there. But there it is. There's the fill. Oh, my. There you go, Kyle. There you go, Kyle. There you go, Kyle. As we get that little move to the downside right now. And yes, sir, that's what we're talking about, man. That is your dollar club to end the day. Are you kidding me right now? And then we do have right here the TQQ as well, waiting to put some damage back on that one right into the close with only a few minutes left. Wow, this day just got elevated real quick for me again. So happy with today's performance. Join me and Danielle Shea on the Market Recap Show, which will be promptly ended at 4:30. 61.27 is the low. How low can we go? What about a 61 or so bid on this one and end this with $1 as well? But hey, we're just playing sort of the ranges here. Sometimes we get hit holding into the close. Today, we already, actually, I guess I can cancel all my stop orders because they won't be affected right now. But yeah, really great trading into the close. That's Nvidia there. The TQs was huge. We're just putting it up today. Big day again. And just do not join me tomorrow. Join Neil and Obi and Sharif and Adara as they'll be going over trades as well tomorrow morning with all of you. Thank you to Kyle Burdett and everybody as well as we continue to sort of melt down a little bit.
Coin is getting bled.
Yeah, look at crypto,
right
man.
now.
55 and change.
We broke 56. Crypto hasn't been looking healthy, but Coinbase, it broke 160, it broke 159, it tagged 158. Mara was already taken on the chin. I'm very curious to see if Hut 8 is still holding the tops, then that's insane. Where is it doing? There, it is. Hut 8 is still holding the highs. That's impressive day for Hut. It doesn't seem to matter. They're going up, and it's a bit of an inverse relationship, but you're headed to the downside to be sure. I don't know if I want to chase JD. We're not getting picked up. And I don't want to get filled in front of 355 because I think at 355, JD probably pairs off. I did check to see if there was some kind of index action explaining why randomly it had an imbalance. There isn't one. This isn't like new. Like the difference between NU and a lot of the other imbalance trades from last week is it was expected to be a gigantic upweight and it came out as a gigantic bid. That's very different from when you randomly see a big imbalance. I would not want to be sitting around if this just pairs off. And if it pairs from a short or a sell into a buy and you're sitting on the offer, the algorithms just take you out and you're just snapping out of the trade. So we're running out of time to be able to get into that one. It didn't really move all that much anyways for JD.com. Robbie V, where do we think the next support is for Coinbase? I mean, the simple answer is I just always pull out the daily. And why I was saying 160 mattered so much was there isn't much of anything underneath it that's obvious. That's that August low when we had all that panic, and you've got this level right in here. Consolidation breakout was at $137. That goes back to February of this year. I don't know if it's going to bounce there. It's got 150 on a Friday before it gets there, so that's obviously a psychological level. But yeah, on the daily chart, $137 on Coinbase is what looks like the next significant price level to me. And if it gets to that price, a lot of people are going to be in pain, but it's been a short till it's not on Coinbase as it just bleeds every single day. Same thing with Mara. Very similar. So 355 is about to hit. I'm assuming this is going to pair off on JD. Just paired off. That was the expectation. That's why I didn't want to chase that move. Had there been an action, I think it could have been a little bit more interesting on JD.com. And as a matter of fact, it just bounced upside.
All right, we'll just wrap up our day here real quick. Just want to say that we are going to be getting out at 61.77. That was sort of that high right there for the triple Qs. We are getting out of, we only have 20% left, 20, 40, 60, 80. So if it breaks there, unfortunately, we had an opportunity to get it out down there. We got Nvidia out, but we did not get out the triple Qs. So we'll wait, maybe 60, let's put a bid. Maybe we get lucky. We were bidding 61.10, so we were really trying to, get those bottoms. We weren't even bidding here, so we weren't thinking about it. And this is what happens into the close there. Market was an 850 million to buy imbalance. NASDAQ was 600 million to buy. And then sometimes that does get paired off. Here we go, right back in. We're going to bid something in the 50s. Maybe we do get that. Make sure you do like and subscribe to the feed as we are live every single day. There's the Nvidia, oopsies. There's the Nvidia out for us there as well. So that was a good one. We'll see if, literally the best we could have had almost all afternoon. We took right there. So that was actually a fantastic out. So really happy with that. Join me and Danielle Shea in just a matter of minutes. 4 minutes to be exact. Here we go.
Yes, sir.
We are about to get out of the, come on, just break it. There we go. We are out of the triple Qs, man. What a great day it's been. It was another one followed by another one. Well, that's that, man. Hopefully you guys have these good memories to take you into tomorrow when it should be a good Friday, man. A very, very violent week, I think, to say the least, on many of these names, and I'm sure you guys will be trading those tomorrow. So best of luck.
Good for trading. It might not be good for the market, though, the way that we've been going. Before you get out of here, it's 3 points. Chiefs or Ravens tonight? It's in KC. And they
I would take KC, but that's a tough one.
I got Patrick Mahomes in both of my leagues. I know Raheem doesn't want to hear that, but Raheem Alani, fantastic. We love him. We love Raheem. He's a big Baltimore guy. I don't remember the story behind it, why he's a Baltimore fan, but
you had some, I don't know, he's always going, I think he has friends down there.
He's always going down there, but yeah, it probably makes sense he has some friends. But let's go Chiefs, although they are the Bills' nemesis. It's all about fantasy for me, and Patrick Mahomes is a bit of a beast. I'm seeing a lot of names getting thrown out there. We only have about 2.5 minutes. There is a bounce happening in the market. If this was a price that I saw 10 minutes ago, I would be taking AMD there again, but there's no chance. Not the way things are headed back in. You got Nvidia bouncing about, call it 70 pennies. AMD just made a bounce of about $1 up in here. I want to see how Tesla's holding up, because Tesla is trying to hold on to VWAP. This is a great look for Tesla to just basically hug VWAP. This is the key level for it to hold. Tesla's local high was 228.30 on the daily chart here. So holding above 229 is a good sign. It'd be even better if it could have got through that 235 zone. As you guys can obviously see that resistance on the daily. Tesla's the big winner for sure. There's other names that went up today. You see C3AI made a big recovery. That was great for them, but Tesla almost 5 points to the upside on a day where the market is essentially flat. It's not an overly impressive day for the markets, and taking it on the chin were the crypto names. At some point, It's a short till it's not. That's Coinbase. That's Mara. They haven't had a green day in like 6 or 7, and it's been pretty nasty to the downside. Boston Frank sports are not fixed. Come on. I mean, you might have the odd ref that makes a questionable decision. But we like to have fun with it in there. That's what it's all about. Robbie V saying AVGO selling off into the close. Well, we're going to be interested in not just Broadcom, but also IoT, thanks to Raider Trader. We'll be looking at that. Broadcom reporting after the bell. They're down a point, little bit of a move down. So it's not a huge move here happening in Broadcom, but they are not bouncing with the rest of the chip names. Like I just saw, like I said, AMD and Nvidia were making a bit of a bounce. Broadcom heading back down into local bottoms, not the low of the day. This is the big earnings name. It's the last major constituent of both indexes that is going to report in this earnings season. So they got a lot on their shoulders here for Broadcom. And you're going to get that after the bell with Sean, with Danielle Shea, and of course, don't forget about that IoT. I've never looked at them before, but after Raider came on, we're going to be watching them with great interest. So you know what to do about this time. You got to get the camera off of me and get it on the lady in black. A great look. I like the all black there. As we drop the countdown on this Thursday, a couple more of these to end out the week. Let's drop it in 3, 2, and 1. It's off a bit. Ring it. Casino closed. The NASDAQ, believe it or not, the NASDAQ just ticked green to end the day there. So the NASDAQ ends up 0.09 to the upside with the ES down about a quarter of a point. Late rally, what was the culprit there that actually got us up? I mean, Apple ticked a bit. That managed to stay green. So pretty good end to the day there with a bounce. We were sitting red on the Qs the whole way. Nvidia gets back into 107. I'm just going to double check AMD. That actually got back into VWAP. So a pretty decent end right there at the end of the day. Good look there for anybody that might have had something going to the long side. That IoT Samsara, we're expecting them and Broadcom reporting after the bell. Look, it's going to be a fun one. I got to give a big shout out to Fabian and Ramin on the 1s and 2s, to both Sharif and Adara on the midday, to all of our fantastic guests, from Raheem Alani this morning to Raider Trader in the afternoon. Want to thank him for that shout out on Samsara, which we'll be looking at. But you know what time it is. It's time to ride, because it ain't over. We've got the market recap show. We've got Danielle Shea. We've got Sean Catino. We got the big desk. We've got Broadcom earnings. We've got Samsara earnings, and we got them now.
What's up, everybody? Thank you so much for joining us here one more time for the Market Recap Show. Yeah, we got a couple earnings coming through, and we will have them for you live as they hit. And Danielle Shea also, look, today Dow Jones, man, down 0.54. It was really a story of the NASDAQ. We see that they're changing today, 0.25 right now for the change on the NASDAQ. I thought it was a little bit higher than that, but I guess not. 0.25 right there. S&P still down, pretty red on the board today. Canada red as well. The VIX takes a hit down today, down 7% on the VIX, closing in and around 1987 for that one. The DAX was up there in Germany. Paris down, Euro stocks down, small cap 2000 right there. The Russell right now down 0.84 as well. Thanks to investing.com for all of that. Here's the comp right here, the NASDAQ composite, as you can see, 0.25 right now to the upside. We just talked about that. Nice little day. We had the disaster day on Monday, followed by 2 nice days now coming back in. Remember, we have Broadcom tonight. That should help figure out what's going on with these semis, man. We have Danielle Shea's going to come on. She's been all over Broadcom. We'll figure out where she's positioned for this report, which should hit at 4:15. We also have IoT coming out. I've got everything in my ears, so as soon as it hits, we should be able to have it. DocuSign 405, UiPath 405 as well. We can go over to Docu right now. This is a name that had a buyout behind them at one point. DocuSign still done well, man. I mean, on the daily chart, DocuSign seems like it wants to hold up okay for right now, but we'll wait to see with a 1-minute chart what's happening right now. I got someone calling me from an 844 number. I think that's probably a scam thing, so we'll just say bye-bye to that. I don't know about you guys. I really only answer the phone unless it's my family, to be honest with you. All right. Yeah, this is not a Steelers jersey here, but it's just is what it is for right now. It is black and gold, though, so you are right about that. All right, Berkshire today with a nice upside move, up 2.85%. Let's go over things that you care about. Gas, UNG, up 5. Silver up 2. It's the weed names, puff, puff, pass on those names, up 1.85%. That's a good one, right? Gold, everything gold right now. These are 1-minute charts. I'm going to flip over to a daily so you can see gold at the all-time high level as well, trying to break through 234 as we get more and more nervous. Although it was nice to see the VIX down 7% today. We'll take it. But gold right now trying to get higher. All right, so that's what's going on there. USO today. I saw gas, believe it or not, $1.45. $1.45 a liter. I mean, that's going to be different than that. Actually, I can double check here. This is, there's 3.78 liters in a gallon. I was going to say, we used to have a hydration nation, and then boom, right away. Must be Ramin over there. There's no way Fabian would have been that fast. Shout out to Ramin. All right, ARC today. We had Raider Trader on talking all about different sectors. I should have asked him about ARC. ARC is another one here, Kathy Wood name, that if rates are going to be coming in question again, of course, with a lowering interest rate coming, apparently, just around the corner, we could see ARC in for better days as well. But ARC will be spurned by UiPath as well. This is another Kathy Wood name. We will wait to hear, I don't know if they're out yet. We are sponsored by Benzinga Pro. This should be blasting in my ear. So if we do get a chance here, I will bring it to you. This is what it looks like. This is the Benzinga Pro platform. It will just scroll down. As soon as I see, and you guys yell to me in the chat too, I do have it up. If there were any names you want to look at that are reporting earnings, let me know. We should be able to get them in my ear. ASAP. All right, there it is. SN, a bunch of names coming through, none that we're looking for right now. UiPath upside, DocuSign right now in the aftermarket. That looks like upside. I would say these numbers must be close to being out right now. DocuSign starting to go. Let's go bang side right now for DocuSign. It looks like a nice upside move into 59, into $60, pulling back in right now. So here we go, 59 and change, trying to go back up into 60. You could see a nice move here for DocuSign. If that does come in, we'll drop that to you immediately. Still waiting for those to come in right now. DocuSign, as soon as we get them, we'll get them. $60 has been the top. A breakout spot right here on the chart, 61.50. I mean, that would sort of be what you're looking for. And then an all clear sign through 65 on DocuSign. And then, of course, Broadcom. I have the note here for Broadcom, everybody. Hello, everybody. Broadcom is not out until 4:15. We are expecting a 6 to 7% move on AVGO. Of course, Broadcom recently split. So a relatively new name to the show as far as trading is concerned, but Broadcom, a lot of traders all over this. The first report since the split. All right, uranium down 2% today. We can have a quick look at that here as well, down into 24 and looking to break lower here on on uranium. Not having a great opportunity here, breaking through the 50 period and then just really bouncing off of it again. Nice downside move for uranium today. Nothing spared, right? XLF, all that was hot over the last little while, starting to pull back. Feel like there's going to be a good opportunity here to take advantage of some of these plays as we get into more earnings and names. There's only one big name left, right? Adobe, I feel like after today. If I'm wrong, let me know about that one in the chat. We still get some nice movements up on marijuana. I don't think this story is going to be over yet. Donald Trump, although the betting sites have it 50-50 right now. I know the polls are leaning, I believe, Democratic. So I feel like, I don't know, Donald Trump and the Republicans had a good talk over the weekend about marijuana and cannabis in Florida. And that sort of helped it over the last couple of days. MSOS. Back there it is. DocuSign is out. So my earpiece must not be working, which is fine. We'll get that all figured out. There comes DocuSign. Earnings now out and going the other way. Let me bring this to you from Benzinga Pro. Here it is right here. DocuSign Q2 adjusted 97 cents, beats 80 cents. Sales 736, beats 727 estimate. So we will wait for the guide on DocuSign. Everything green right now, but the guide must be a little lower. DocuSign giving some back right now. We will have more as it comes through, but there's DocuSign down to $54, now making that move back up. Relatively flat on this. The expected move that I had written down here, 9% on DocuSign. So with a close of $56, we do expect this name to get above 60 or below 50. And right now, kind of a snooze fest here for DocuSign. We'll have those reports when they come out. We already have the report. It's 97 cents versus 80. That's a beat. And they also beat on sales. 7% increase on the revenue, but we do not know the guide yet for DocuSign as I keep on looking over there to see if we can get it. All right, That's the market little recap today. Before we get more names, I'm still going to be watching, but let's do a quick little overview of how this market looked today. So if we can get the screen here, Amin, and that'd be perfect. Yeah, perfect. Thank you for that. There it is right here. So after what was a little bit of a strong recovery off the open here, we did see that rally in Apple. Apple today goes from 222, right? All the way up here off the open. This is just a daily chart. Still trying to hold out as we wait for that Apple event coming in one more time. I need to go back to this. How do I go back to all of them? Oh no, S&P 500 index. Oh no, what have we done? We have to get out of this technology. 1 second here, guys. There it is. Nvidia today also up that 1%. We'll see if that can hold from Broadcom. Last 2 days of selling found a little bit of a bid today in many names. Google finds a bid today. Meta finds a bid today. Amazon, the Mag 7 did the heavy lifting. We talked about the NASDAQ being a positive stock. Let's go back to this quickly. We do have Nvidia moving on the DOJ talk there, but it seems like they brushed that off. Tesla and Amazon, consumer discretionary. We talked about that today with a nice move up. There's consumer durables and Tesla up 5%. Coke, P&G, and Pepsi all pulling back. Actually, Pepsi looks like they're up. Coke down 1.92% as these have been leading the way, right? Consumer non-durables. If we're going to have a quick look, and I'll just, we can probably, Eli Lilly was something else I want to talk about with healthcare. Hit today, AbbVie, Eli Lilly, J&J, Amgen, again on not more worries about GLP, but just let's let these studies come in. The competition is going to come in as well. Eli Lilly near highs. No surprise that some of that comes off Wells Fargo. Berk B. I mean, what was eventually going to have to happen? Berkshire B, here, it's right here. BRK.B, again, on a 1 minute, forget about it. Look at it on a daily. Real impressive until it's not. Nice move back in, covering up basically the last week back down into 461. Probably a good buying opportunity, down 3%. You don't see that often again. Why is that? Bank of America. We talked about that being down a little bit here today. Coke, a big holding there. Downside as well. Ulta Beauty, a new position for Warren and friends. Warren Buffett, I think, is 96 or 97. That actually held out pretty good there today. Ulta Beauty to the upside as well. But with financials getting hit, that's what winds up happening. So we'll wait to see on that one. Oh, IoT was one that we didn't look at. Internet of Things. We had this one. Let me just look at this real quickly. There it is. We did have Raider Trader talking about this name. We'll get those earnings when we do get them for you. Benzinga Pro. Let's go find out. Is that UiPath is now out? There it is. Samsara. So reporting Q2 revenue of 300 million. 37% year-over-year growth. We'll find out what the market was expecting from Samsara, but right now it is a downside move or upside move for IoT. UiPath takes on expanded role, Chief Operating Officer. There's the results, but again, they're just listed like this. 10% all green, it looks like here for UiPath. Here is the consolidated earnings. There it is, man. 3 cents a share. 4 cents a share, beating 3 cents. I mean, is that a big move? We'll take it. Nice one there. The company also reporting quarterly sales of 316 million versus 303. So it looks like UiPath starting to head to the upside. Hopefully this is a good sign. Let's go over and see what the stock is doing. IoT. Oh no, Raider Trader. Oh no. Nice little move up there for IoT. But hey, day's still young. Broadcom's coming on, and I promise you we'd look at UiPath to the rescue. You know who's going to like this one? Kathy Wood. Nice move to the upside here for UiPath. We just went over the numbers. Q2, 3 cents, beaten by 4. They report 4 cents versus an expected 3, with sales also going to the upside right there. IoT, here's the numbers for IoT as well. Internet of Things, IoT Samsara, 5 cents, beats the 1 cent. Sales 300, beating 289. Looks like IoT wants to head to the upside. But are we worried about this? Let's have a quick look. If you can break that high right there, up 8% for IoT. What's up, Ramin? Fabian had to show you there, of course. You got the sweater, man. I got the hat. You got the sweater. We like that. Oh, you stole it. Short, yeah, we're short thievery around here. All right, 42 and change right now for IoT, looking to get higher. What was the other name? It was DocuSign today. So DocuSign right now trying to pull upside and then downside. Right now, DocuSign down $255. I don't think there's really too much blood in the streets with this name at all, but DocuSign looks like it wants to go downside. We will have Danielle Shea on in just a couple of seconds. But Nvidia, man, this is a good trade for us today. It was one of the better ones. We had a good short there into the close on Nvidia. I didn't load up my trade software or anything like that, but we had a good trade there. And we also had some good trades on the TQQs. Our best trade of the day, though, Apple. Apple this morning breaks higher and breaks through. So there's Apple. Well, I got to look at this earlier. What a great start to the day, man. The NASDAQ was trying to push 1%. Remember the NASDAQ was up 0.9 and I was like, oh man, maybe we do get that big recovery day. But no, slapped to the downside is Apple. And Apple actually closing kind of uneventfully. I mean, it's still up 0.67. I like the 2/3 of 1%. But at the end of the day, it bounces off of 222. We're not here tomorrow, but that has to be a level to look at. You have to look at 222 there for Apple. I think it might be a slippery slope. Let's wait to see what happens with Broadcom, which, by the way, is not out. We'll wait to see when Broadcom comes out right now. But for now, we are starting to sort of flatten out. Nice little upside move there. Before I call Danielle, because Broadcom is going to be at 415. UiPath trying to pull back a little bit right now. So that's another name. IoT, another name reporting today. Kind of stable on that. And then DocuSign was the other name. So, yeah, man, Broadcom, AVGO, a name of our guest. Danielle Shea has been talking about Broadcom well before the split. Let's go get her opinion quickly. And we're back together again. Hi, Danielle. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm all right, actually. I'm doing pretty well. We had a really good day today trading, a lot of opportunities. When the volatility starts going around, we like to trade volatility around here. And we had a very busy morning, kind of a slow afternoon. But I did want to get your opinion real quickly. I know you've been talking a lot about Broadcom on this show and probably elsewhere. You expecting anything from this report here today?
You know, the number one thing that I'm expecting is that the market's going to move based off of it, because when you look at what happened with Nvidia last week and the way that Nvidia faltered, I think that was a major catalyst to bring the semiconductors lower, as well as the Magnificent Seven stocks. And so this report is absolutely critical. I can see right now that it's
moving around now.
Higher briefly, and now it's trading lower. But
here it comes. We only have an expected move right now, Danielle, of only 6.3% or so. So the implied volatility is not huge on this one, but we are starting to go lower. We'll see if we have the numbers. Let me just check our screen right now. I don't have the numbers out exactly yet, but it is 4:15. So momentarily, we'll wait for Broadcom. But yeah, it's ticking a little bit lower into 147 and change. And I know that's something that you look at is how have these names moved off of their past reports? I feel like 6.7% or whatever the implied move is seems a little light considering what we've seen in the chip space. I guess it's kind of one of those trades where if we come out as expected, great. You're looking for volatility. You're looking for outsized moves.
Well, it's not necessarily that I'm looking for outsized moves. It's just that, this is really the last major catalyst that we have as far as earnings is concerned. And with the way that the semiconductors have taken a beating this week, I just feel like this report is the last chance that we have to hold SMH on the 200 simple, because if you look at what SMH has done, it's normal for the market to pull back in September and for there to be some volatility. But the problem here is that SMH is holding right up above the 200 simple on the daily chart. And so if we can't get any of these semiconductors to be a positive catalyst and hold that ETF and hold this area of the market higher, then what's going to happen? It's going to break down below support. And so that's why I think Broadcom's report is really important. Actually, Broadcom doesn't normally move as much as most of the other semiconductors do. If we look at the way that it's moved in the past, I mean, yes, it did move a lot last quarter. We had a 14% move, but that was because they announced the split as well. In the past, I mean, it hasn't moved that much. 0.9%, 0.6, 2.3, 0.1, 3.2, 3.7. So it's not that I'm looking for a huge move. It's just that I feel like it's really critical with the way that Nvidia is traded after the report. And specifically because SMH is basically teetering on a brink here at the 200 simple.
We always talk about how important that is because all of these ETFs, right? There's the SOXL, the SMH. I mean, there's probably 3 or 4 other ones that do significant volume. And when they have to react and sort of reweight based on they want to sell Broadcom, they don't, you know, these names have to react, and Broadcom shares right now. Let me break away from this quickly. Broadcom right here. It looks like the numbers are fine, Danielle. 124. Come over to the screen right here. We'll show them. Thank you, Ramin. We'll zoom in a little bit. Here's Broadcom right now. 124 beats 120. Sales beat as well. Broadcom shares are trading lower though. We'll find out what's going on with Broadcom right now. Revenue seems to be a beat. Right now, trying to trade a little bit lower is Broadcom. DocuSign sees forward revenue higher than expected as well. I guess the problem is going to be this, Danielle. Sometimes you have to be priced to perfection. I mean, what are we expecting? Like Nvidia actually had, if you're looking at the numbers, their quarter wasn't that bad. Sure, maybe they delayed Blackwell numbers, but those numbers are coming, and Nvidia still gets hit. Now down 30+% from the highs. But it's not all about the semis, is it? I mean, there has to be something else, Danielle. You and I go back and forth about Deere, about Caterpillar, other names like that. Is there something that's maybe away from earnings right now that you're looking at?
Yeah, well, you know, as the semiconductors have pulled back and as tech has pulled back, I'm definitely watching the Magnificent Seven too. You know, we have a couple of those that are bouncing off of the 200 simple, and that's exactly what we need to see on those daily charts. But I will point out Costco because I love Costco. Costco has earnings coming up in a couple of weeks. I think that it's pulled back really nicely from the highs and it's consolidating again, and it looks like it's going to make another move higher. So, you know, you have a lot of these consumer staples names that are already at new all-time highs. The sector's been really strong, but you know, you can't really buy them here. So that's why I would just point out the lovely Costco that's apparently selling $200 million of gold bars now per quarter. So if you check this one out, you can see that it's consolidating really well on this lower time frame chart. You have earnings coming up on the 25th of September. And yeah, I mean, I just think it's nice pullback, nice little easier name to trade rather than, you know, crazy semiconductors.
That's what I was going to ask you about. I mean, I've looked at Walmart. I mean, Walmart has been a rocket to the upside as well. And I don't know if you've looked at Berkshire over the last couple of days. Right, if you come over to my screen, this name has been like, wow, $1 trillion. Like, I mean, this has been a huge move. And look at this candle, Danielle. If you didn't notice it, maybe something to look at because today Berkshire finally gets that pullback. I mean, what a nice move off the 50 period going all the way back to August the 6th right now. Okay, so just a little bit of an update here. Broadcom, again, just giving you what the notes are saying here. Broadcom says we expect revenue from AI to be in the $12 billion range for fiscal 2024, which is a much bigger upside than reported before. Right now, AVGO trying to hold. I'm okay with where we are right now, 147.50. That 200 period definitely needs to hold. And what Danielle's been talking about is SMH. Let's see if that can hold. Let me get a live quote on SMH right now. That 200 period, Danielle, is at 216 and change. Right now, we are down. Okay, we're not even doing that much here in the after hours on SMH. So taking Broadcom with oh no. Danielle, did you know this? Costco wholesale numbers just came out right now for the retail month of August. How funny is that? Here they are right here. Costco Corporation reports, it's not that much for the month of August. Just almost $20 billion right there for the month of August. Absolutely unbelievable as spend goes up, and away for Costco. Wow, absolutely amazing. An increase of over 1% year over or month over month there for Costco. So there you go again, Danielle. Looks like people are still shopping. Look, I know you got a bunch of little ones running around. What was it like for you this year for shopping with back to school?
Well, you know, I always look for those bargains, Sean. And so I'm always shopping at Costco. And that's one of the reasons why I like to buy shares and invest in the company, because every single time I go there, that place is packed.
Rammed.
So, you know, Kohl's, they've got some deals, Walmart, Costco. And, you know, I've noticed that a lot of the retailers are discounting things right now. You know, Costco obviously doesn't discount too much since it already has low margins, but I have noticed that there's a ton of discounts everywhere. So that just tells me that, you know, retailers are having to lower their prices because it's tough right now with inflation. Everything's expensive. So a couple different things I've noticed recently.
I think consumers right now are sort of leveling that down a little bit on the retail side of things. And I think Walmart actually nailed it because of the fact that, who's over there, Ramin? Because of the fact that you can get groceries there. You can stop all Stop one shop? Is that what am I talking about? Right there as we go. All right. One other name I want to talk about quickly because we got a football game tonight. It's your Kansas City Chiefs against the Baltimore Ravens. And of course, everyone's favorite pop star will be showed probably at least 3 or 4 times today. We'll wait for some Taylor Swift. And then we've got a Little League game tonight as well. Oh, update on the turkeys. Are they still running around your backyard or what?
Okay, so I have a wild turkey that is running around, and it was recommended to me that I buy some female turkeys,
Right.
so I could get more turkeys. Haven't quite done that yet, but I did get all the land ready. I'm going to be planting an orchard. I'm going to plant some blueberry bushes and cherry trees, apple trees, and all that kind of stuff. I'm set to have this baby in November, so I don't think I can get any animals right now. But after the baby is a couple months old, next spring will be time for the animals.
You'll have your hands full for a minute with the little ones running around there. I am certain of that. All right, can we look at IWM together? I'll give you a second to sort of open up some charts. This is a name that always gets talked about. If you come over here, Ramin, this is a name, Danielle, that always gets talked about on our show. Everybody that comes on seems to be wanting to buy dips in IWM, and I understand why. There's the interest rate story, right? We're in the Fed rate cut cycle right now. We're looking for 0.75 by the end of the year. I think we could even go to 1 by the time that happens. Maybe a surprise half-point cut, not this month, maybe in November. We'll see if that comes through. But at the end of the day, is this a buy? We're at the 50-period moving average. I know you like to look at some ETFs. This, of course, is the Russell 2000, very interest rate sensitive sector. I'm not convinced on this. I don't know. What do you think about IWM?
I've never found this to be a good trading product, and people ask me about it all the time too. And I don't really understand just because I don't find it to be a good trading product. I mean, I think if you want to buy and hold it, it's perfectly fine. You do have a nice weekly chart here. You have consolidation. If you throw on some fib levels here, we have some pretty decent upside targets. It's close to those previous highs, and then you have a longer term target at 266. But the reason why I don't like trading it is because it's just not in a solid trend. You're going to have a much simpler time in life when you're trading if you trade something that's in a better trend. I mean, this one is up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Yeah. And, it has been, more up than down recently. But I just don't find it to be a very good trading product. So I avoid it unless you're just going to throw it in a long-term account and hold it.
Yeah, I shouldn't have asked you about it. I agree with you actually on that one too. It's been pretty boring as of late. Danielle, let me check in on Broadcom right now, as many people in the chat wondering what's going on with Broadcom. So let's have a quick look here on the 1-minute chart. Broadcom starting to head lower. We did have a little bit of a bounce back up there into 148, but Broadcom turning on its head a little bit down into 143. Just a quick check on other reports today. IoT, Samsara upside as well. That's starting to get hit for anybody on those puts. And then DocuSign right now pretty flat. So looks like we have a relatively uneventful move right here. All right, I don't know what's going on with oil these days, but today was relatively flat. But you can see here with USO, we are starting to push downside with oil. We have the XLE is another trading engine that I like to use. I'm buying these dips. I think the oil story still has more to go. Very election sensitive, of course, as we talk about energy. We've seen uranium getting hit. Like everything right now in the energy space seems to be going the wrong way. Is there something you like in energy right now, whether or not it be solar or uranium or any sort of names or ETFs you're looking at?
Yeah, sure. We can definitely look at that. But I'll tell you about Broadcom. I mean, I don't know. I would say that it's a little bit more, I think the situation's a little bit worse than what it seems because the expected move was $8.81. Mm-hmm. And it's already down almost 10. And I think the problem with it is that it's broken through the 100 simple on the daily chart. And, here's the thing. You're already back down to almost the lows in August. And I think the most important thing here is that if this opens up down, $10 or more, it's probably going to get sold more tomorrow. So, I agree with you. The numbers were good, but this is exactly what happened with Nvidia. The Nvidia numbers were good as well. It just wasn't good enough and exciting enough. So, I don't know. I would encourage people to keep looking at that overnight, especially because of those long-term levels. But
All right.
I'm a little disappointed because we needed Broadcom to hold, but let me go ahead and look at your next question here. So what do you think about this Broadcom move, Sean?
I mean, for me, so I was just looking at it as well. I mean, this Broadcom right now is taking out this 106 area. I mean, that's Nvidia. I wanted to look at Nvidia quickly because I wanted to think about what you were saying. You know, SMH Nvidia is going to be the biggest hold in that name. And if they're going to pull down on this as well, obviously they're not going to be directly affected by Broadcom. But yeah, the weakness potentially in the space hitting this name as well. Nvidia coming down, again, a player in the space. It looks like they're heading to the downside. And then what I feel about this stock overall, I don't like that we tested that 148 and bounced back to the downside. But if we can hold 144, I mean, I don't know, on a daily chart, I don't get really too concerned, honestly, until we break through the 200 simple. But again, if we do that, then then this is where we get worried, because then what about 120? Like a lot of these names, we could say, well, that's only $24 away. But then as you said, you come in tomorrow and this move is maybe down 10%. Well, guess what? I think it flushes more off of that, right? The more action that we get outside of the expected earnings, and you taught me this, the more likely it is to continue. So I like what you're talking about there. Danielle, we have 2 minutes because I'm flying out of here at 4:30. Well, running, walking, something like that. But I'm going to be out of here very quickly. Give me your thoughts on something energy related. That was sort of that next question.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I do not like the way that XLE is breaking through the 200 simple on the daily chart. That's generally a spot where if you break that zone, especially on high volume, you can usually short it. It has consolidation. If it breaks the lows of August, I think it'll probably accelerate to the downside. A lot of these other names too within the space. I mean, Chevron, it has that consolidation. It's ready to break out to the downside. XOM, that one broke through the 50 simple and the 100 simple. That one looks like it's going to 110. Even MPC is generally a good relative strength one to trade, but this one's breaking down below the 200 simple as well. So it looks to me like energy here is pulling back, and I would focus on shorting the names that break through that critical support to the downside, especially on high volume.
Danielle Shea, I have some news for you. Me and Neil are switching days, so I think you'll get a little bit more of me as we go forward, and I apologize for that. But I think we had a great segment today. Let's hope that Broadcom can hold this level. You're going to be watching the Chiefs game tonight?
Of course I'm watching the Chiefs game. I already have my tacos in the crock pot.
Do you make your own guacamole or things like this? Like what happens at the Shea household? Because I'm a sucker for homemade guacamole. I'm on that next flight.
Oh, yeah. I'm just one of those homestead moms, making the guacamole. I'm making desserts, making
What's for dessert? What's for dessert tonight?
Well, I've been making berry crisp. I have blueberries, I have apples, I have all kinds of agriculture around me. So I make bread, I make crisps, I even got my own ice cream maker recently. So
we have one of those
our own ice cream, all kinds of stuff.
Throw down some pistachio. We really like that one. Thank you so much. It's Danielle Shea. Best of luck to your Kansas City Chiefs, and thank you so much for everything that you do. We'll run over. Everyone can find you on YouTube at Trader Danielle as well. We'll go over all of that next time. Thank you so much, Danielle, and best of luck with everything. Go Broadcom.
Thank you.
Ciao, that's Danielle Shea, and it's Trader Talk. I'm already losing my voice, and I got to go start to yell at some kids. But right now, I'm going to start. I don't yell. I mean, I'm very, very nice. There's Danielle. Bye, Danielle. Let's do the roll call real quick because we got to get out of here. All right. Ahmed. I forgot to say this. Danielle, if you're still there, Ahmed gave a super chat here. He wanted to ask you about the $ ad. So I don't know exactly what that is, but there it is. Ahmed, thank you so much for the super chat. If you come over to my screen, Ramin will do the roll call real quick. There it is right there. Thank you so much, Ahmed. And if Danielle's still around, if not, I'll make sure to get her to answer. I'll message her and ask her about that one. Thank you so much. Danielle Shea, one of my favorites, and hopefully we'll be able to be together a little bit more. All right, here we go. Thank you to Bristol, Royal Dixon, the badger, the honey badger, one of the most dangerous animals out there. I hope Danielle does not have any honey badgers running around her property because those turkeys would be in trouble. What's up to Hugh? Oh, Hugh, I see you want me to say your name. I'm not going to do it. What's up, Bakar City? BGZ is here. Raul, Michael Lee is in the building. Zion Lala, is Danielle a Cowboy fan? I do not believe so. Here we go, Steelers, says Bob S. Thank you so much to Maurizio for being here. Hey, Davis. Hey, I notice you. You're always there. What's up to Rivian Millionaire? CompuCare team said, hey, was I going to do the roll call today? Yeah, man, we're doing the roll call. Shout out to CompuCare team as well. Thanks to the Piper. Thank you to Ramin today. Thank you to Mary. Thank you to JR. Everybody that's still here, Future Ready, and everybody else. I just got a text, and one of our best players is not attending tonight. So I got to get out of here. I got to redo the lineup. This is going to be a problem for sure. Hey, yo, Future Ready says his son was born today. Boom on that one, Future Ready. I hope for much success and health to you and yours. Jarhead. I remember you, man. That's a real one over there. Shout out to Jarhead as well. Hey, look, man, it's been a great day. I want to say thank you to everybody. Have a great weekend. Have a great tomorrow. I'm back on Monday. For then and for now, this is Trader TV Live, and I'm Sean Katina. Go find me everywhere. Thank you, and I'll see you tomorrow. Ciao. I won't see you tomorrow.